A second-round pick. They probably aren't going to keep this guy, but the fact that they did something, and we were talking earlier, I was talking to Rob Thompson earlier from the Morning Cuddle, and it's, McBuckets just need to be freed.
Yeah.
The poor guy given an opportunity to go with a team that's got a shot at the postseason, and because the Spurs don't, obviously. So good for him. He's getting out, and he's going to Indiana.
Yeah, and interesting because you look at the trade deadline, not sure what all is going to happen over the next couple of days, or the rest of the day. But even Greg Popovich said last night, don't expect much. Don't be by your phones. Even told Jeff McDonald not to drink too much last night, which I think is funny. As Jeff tweeted out, in the last couple of weeks, Pop has accused him of being on drugs and now drinking too much. It is very interesting there.
Well, I've been out with Jeff McDonald, so have you.
Yeah.
He knows how to party.
Absolutely.
And that's a good thing.
He does know how to party. That is for sure. McBuckets, I'm glad they set him free.
Yes.
Give him an opportunity, go somewhere else, go to a winner. And going to Indiana, closer to home, I suppose, for him, good for him. And for the Spurs, though, that's one less veteran guy that they have on their roster. And it does tell me at this point, either there wasn't a deal that Brian Wright and Pop and the crew liked that could jumpstart the rebuild for next year. Although Pop, the last couple of days, has been very, what's the word, steadfast on building through the draft. Because, look, it took Michael Jordan 7 years. You don't do this overnight. We're going to do it the right way through the draft.
You know what I love, though, is that Spurs fans, keep receipts. And Greg Popovich clearly said in training camp, Spurs fans should expect wins this year.
He did.
He said that. And so for him to come out now and say, well, maybe not. You don't remember what I said in training camp, but I'm going to say this now because, well, Michael Jordan. And it's ridiculous on the face of it. Been back and forth with a lot of so-called Spurs fans on the X, and some of them are have some common sense, Jason, and some of them don't.
Well, what's so frustrating with the Spurs for me right now, and admittedly, I am a very frustrated Spurs fan. It is about winning, and yes, it might have taken Michael Jordan 7 years to win a title. But they were good basketball teams until they finally had the right team to go win championships. We're not a good basketball team. Trade deadline, they did nothing to get better. And getting a Morris brother, not even the good Morris brother, but getting a Morris brother. Remember when that guy his brother screwed over the Spurs a couple of years ago?
Yes.
Not a fan of bringing another one in. I don't expect him to stay. I imagine he'll be one that get the paperwork done, and he'll likely be released and be off. The guy might not actually ever come to San Antonio, go to the facility. There's not going to be a press conference and a jersey presentation or any of that kind of stuff.
No, but again, I'm happy for Doug McDermott to get out of there. He's got he's coming to the end of his career. Certainly on the dark. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So good for him to get out, get to a team that's got a shot at the postseason, and to do something. And he'll help that team with the way he can shoot. Doug McDermott is a good asset for the Indiana Pacers.
Now, there is some good news, if you can, say it this way for the Spurs. Jeremy Sohan has been named to the Rising Star game.
Oh, wow.
Remember all the talk when he didn't make it originally? Well, he is going to be an injury replacement. So the Spurs will have two in the Rising Star games, Wemby and on the freshman team and Sohan on the sophomore team.
Well, that makes it all better, doesn't it?
Sure.
That makes it all better.
Sure.
So the 10 wins, doesn't matter. We got two guys on the Rising team.
I mean, for a team that's rebuilding, you have to have young talent, and you got two guys that are amongst the best of the young players getting to play in the Rising Star game. Glass half full, Ryan Eagle. Be positive.
I try. Along with those young players, though, you might want to have some guys that can play. That are veterans, and that's what people forget. And this whole Greg Popovich statement the other day just infuriates me, I'll be honest with you, because when Tim Duncan came in, he had veteran guys around him, and he had an opportunity to learn from those guys on the floor. Wemby does not. And there's a huge difference. And anybody that wants to compare those two, it's apples and oranges. It's completely apples and oranges. Tim Duncan had an opportunity to thrive year one. Victor Wembanyama doesn't.
Well, and again, sure. It's Spurs.
Just say you agree. That's all right. You do. So
sure.
That's fine.
Sure. I'm with you. I'm just frustrated with the Spurs.
Yes.
And
you should be
hoping they would do something with all the picks that they have, get somebody in here that, it's not for this year, but why, if there's a veteran guy that you've targeted that you think would be a good fit here at this point, make the trade now, get Wemby and whatever player that was, a couple of months of playing together this season, a jump start on next year. And I was really, although naive of me to think that they would actually do this, but naive of me, but really thinking, all right, well, maybe they'll kickstart next year, start training camp early and get a head start on next year because, that process of learning how to play together has taken a lot longer for the current Spurs to play with Wemby. So why not? I was just hoping there would be something.
I'm just looking forward to the offseason to see what this team is going to do. They stand pat. Do they go out? Are they big players in the free agent market? You got a ton of draft picks to throw around, a ton of money to spend. I don't think it's bad for Spurs fans to want this team to be a winner sooner rather than later. And it aggravates me when somebody, Pop knows what he's doing. And okay, maybe he does, but we still want a winner.
This is going to be year 6 without the playoffs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And now Pop is saying it might be 7 more if we're going with that comparison.
Exactly.
Uh-huh. I'm not.
I'm not down for that.
No. 7 more years, huh?
Wow. We're following the Michael Jordan rule.
Yeah. No. I've got patience. I don't have 7 years of patience.
Well, I don't.
Granted, I don't expect them to be bad for 7 more years. And I understand where Pop was going with that, like this year. But I don't know that anybody this year expected a championship team.
No.
I don't know that anybody this year expected. I expected a winning record, a close to 500.
Sure.
Maybe a play-in, but not even a real playoff berth. And Pop said that at the beginning of the year. This year is about wins.
It is.
All 10 of them. We're on Radio Row in Las Vegas. It's a big game week. Lots of stuff going on. A lot of moving parts. So don't go anywhere if you're watching on YouTube. Bitch about the cameras all you want. It is what it is. I'm using my laptop here. Apparently the camera's not very good today.
I got a security guard behind me, apparently.
You've got a security guard.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I understand that. I asked for it. I'm not sure what kind of security I'll get, but I got one.
You got Swampy over your shoulder?
I do, right
Is
there.
Is it the angel and the devil? Which shoulder are we looking at there?
Exactly.
I mean, if he stands there long enough, he may smile. Other shoulder.
You think that's the other one?
Other shoulder.
I don't know.
Other shoulder. Yes, we're in the 5th grade. Yep, rabbit ears.
There he is.
There you go.
Right there.
I mean, yesterday during one of the interviews, Swampy was on camera the whole time.
I know. I think he just wants his 15 minutes.
He does. He does. He's feeling a little left out.
Of course.
Absolutely. Yes.
Be careful. You're on camera.
Well, I think you can flip somebody off on YouTube.
Oh, you can? That's okay.
I mean, why not?
All right.
It's possible. It is possible. Brian Baldinger will join us next. Baldy's Breakdowns live in person from Radio Row for our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage in Las Vegas. And nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, the best way to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San San Antonio and Texas. Services nationwide. If you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
The Sports Star Boys are in Vegas for the big game.
Road trip!
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Robin, RJ, and Jason and Joe are in Sin City and Radio Row for the big game, with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Woo! I think you gonna get away with it. Not up in here.
Not up in here.
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergenics, Southern Recipes Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Did you know some ordinary cold medicines can raise your blood pressure? That's alarming. Fortunately, there's Vicks DayQuil High Blood Pressure. It's specially formulated without alcohol, sugar, or decongestants to provide fast, powerful cold and flu symptom relief for people with high blood pressure. So if you have high blood pressure, try DayQuil High Blood Pressure, the daytime coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, colds, and flu for people with high blood pressure medicine. Use as directed and keep out of reach of children.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save on bulk purchases of select insulation from trusted brands like Green Fiber. Plus, save an extra 5% every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Visit us for the materials you need, because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store at lowes.com/credit for details. U.S. only.
At Edwin Watts Golf Shops, there's something that binds us all. The collective goal to transcend the ordinary. Introducing the all-new TaylorMade QI10 Max Driver, combining TaylorMade distance with the forgiveness of 10K inertia. Experience your drives in 10K. Visit us in-store for a free custom fitting at your local Edwin Watts Golf Shops, or shop us online at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Flight by Yuengling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe, live from Radio Row for Super Bowl LVIII in Las Vegas.
It is The Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Ryan Engel. I'm Jason Minix. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage brought to you by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Synergenics. Brian Baldinger joining us now live. And Brian, man, so you're on camera right there.
Mm-hmm.
If you could sit down.
I could do that, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what I thought it was something else. But
I know you've been sitting the whole time. And, I'll stand
probably
for
a
this
better
one
view,
for
right?
a little of this one. But, yeah, that camera was, How's everything, man?
Everything's good, Jason. I mean, I'm enjoying myself. I do this annually. I enjoy all of it. Like, honestly, I could do this. I know what's coming, but I always look forward to it. I get the chance to see so many different people, and the energy at the Super Bowls is always. This is the biggest day, so this is the finish line for me. So this is a lot of fun.
Well, and you always have a lot of fun, and I love the way you dissect plays and all the stuff that you do, and you kind of, you teach us what's going on. For the thing that maybe an average fan can't see, we can see it when you explain it that way.
Thanks, Joe. No, honestly, I really enjoy doing it. I put a lot of time into it, but I know it connects with the fans and players, and the younger players, kids in high school and Pop Warner, they're watching. And so I'm just trying to give it to you a minute at a time, 2 minutes at a time. It could be strategy. It could be effort. It could be technique. It could be anything that just sort of catches my eye. And so I try to literally, this is the hard part because it's not work, but I try to represent all 32 teams the same. Yeah. Some teams are a little bit more fun to go in there and kind of really examine. Some players kind of, get my attention a little bit more. But overall, I honestly try to represent all 32.
Brian Baldinger joining us here on The Blitz. The Baldy's breakdowns do make a lot of content on our show on a regular basis, and we're trying to figure out this or that, or did Dak throw it in the wrong area? Was it on the receiver, a missed block here? We learn a lot from it. Now, you played for the Cowboys, so you understand a little bit more than most about what it's like to have that star on your helmet and the criticism that comes with it.
No doubt.
Mike Lombardi said that he thought the Cowboys overachieved this year with their roster.
Well, I don't believe that. I mean, look, they put up, they scored 40 on the Giants. Giants were dreadful. The Jets were dreadful. I mean, Washington was dreadful. Like, I don't know if they overachieved. They had some real tomato cans on the schedule. Let's face it. I mean, when they got those teams, they blew them out. Yeah. Thanksgiving Day, it wasn't even close. Like, did we put up 50? So, when it was a little bit more competitive in games, the first Eagle game, they had chances to win it. They had problems in the red zone throughout much of the season. But I didn't think I'm friends with Michael, but I don't feel like they overachieved. I thought they got bounced out of the playoffs, and that surprised me the way they did.
Well, I think it surprised everybody, Brian. When you look at that, because they got the number 2 seed, the Eagles collapsed, and it helped the Cowboys. Yep. Everybody thought that this was their path to an NFC championship game, if nothing else. Yep. And then to have that kind of performance, what do you make of that?
Well, look, defensively, they just proved that you can't play without linebackers. You want to play Marquise Bell. I like Marquise Bell. But if you want to play those guys down the box at linebacker against Green Bay, well, Aaron Jones he's going to make you pay. And then I didn't think they did enough to affect Jordan Love. And this was, his first time in the playoffs. And he looked like the veteran out there. And then Dak made his mistakes. He made his mistakes that show up in some of these games. And you have to play your best. You have to be at your best. Mahomes hasn't turned the ball over in these playoffs. He's 14-3 in the playoffs. Like, he plays his best in the playoffs. And that's what you got to do.
What is it about play? Like, Dak Prescott is a great regular season quarterback. I use a term called playoff Prescott for postseason. Okay. That's not a good word, right? Because he's 2-5 and he makes those mistakes.
Yes.
What is it about playoff football that you get a different Dak Prescott?
Well, it's different speed. You're going to see better teams. So, the teams there's only 7 teams that qualify, in your conference. So you're going to see better teams, better defenses. You're going to see better coaches that strategize better. Okay. So you're not going to see a team with flat out weaknesses. That's one. And then Kurt Warner tells me all the time, you have to have big game genes. Like, this is what you live for. Like, you're in the moment, in the spotlight. All right, I'm just going to cut it loose. I'm going to play the best football of the season because I know I have to. And you let the game come to you. But in that moment when you have a chance to stick it to the other team, you got to do it. And we haven't seen enough of it.
Well, that brings up a great point, especially when it comes to a Dak Prescott. And I know he gets a lot of criticism, a lot of credit, whatever you want to say, because he's a quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But when do you look at a guy, he's in 8 years in the NFL now, and say he just might not be that guy?
Well, that's an organizational decision. That's Jerry's, decision. He's going to win you a lot of games. You know that. You're going to end up with at least 10, maybe 12, 13 games every year because he's still a really good player. But to answer your question, the standard in is winning. So went through it. Danny White went through it. Guys go through it. At some point, you just go, how many more disappointments can you shoulder before you say we got to find a different guy? If Brock Purdy comes in here on Sunday to Allegiant Stadium and gets the win, everybody in Dallas is going to say, wait a second, we pay our guy, whatever we're paying him, and look what he just did. Like, this is what we need our guy to do. To me, that would be the talk.
It will be the talk. Is it fair to make a comparison like that, though?
Well, you the comparison could go further. Well, San Francisco's a better team. You could say all those kind of things. The quarterback's job is to elevate everybody around him. CeeDee Lamb had one of the best wide receiving years of anybody that's ever played this game this year. He was unstoppable, but he wasn't like that in the playoffs, And I thought they got him a lot of help. The tight end developed, and Brandon Cook became what they wanted from Brandon Cook. I mean, you can look at a lot of things. It's a quarterback's job to get these guys the ball.
And some guys can do that, Patrick Mahomes. Some guys can't. Mm-hmm. And that's where you judge the difference. Because we've got all these young quarterbacks in the league, and I'll throw Dak Prescott in there, the Josh Allens, the Justin Herberts. Mm-hmm. There are others. And, the Joe Burrows. Mm-hmm. And he got it done.
Yeah.
But, everybody wants to compare these guys. Is that fair?
That's not really fair. Everybody's situation is unique. But we're all here for a reason talking about this game. So comparisons and rankings, all that stuff is going to come up. Like, you can dismiss it. You can get rabid about it. You can throw stats at it. The eye test is it. I mean, you lose to San Francisco at home. You lose to Green Bay at home in these playoff games, and you see these fans, their faces are melting in the stands. Like, they can't believe what they're watching. And so you can compare them or not compare them. The eye test, to me, tells you, can this guy do it? You have to ask that question.
And make winning decision or business decisions.
Okay.
And that's what Jerry is always faced with. Brian Baldinger joining us here on the Blitz. You see him all over NFL Network. And, of course, Baldy's Breakdowns is such a great thing every week on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the other team in Texas. How quickly things have turned around for D'Amico Ryans with quarterback C.J. Stroud.
It's amazing. I saw C.J. here earlier. I think you probably – I thought C.J. was going to be a good player. And I thought whether you want to take him over Bryce Young, I mean, that's an organizational thing. But I thought he had real arm talent. And I thought but he gets knocked because he's Ohio State and they got all these stud receivers. So you didn't really look closely to his ability to read a progression, the ability to make stick throws. And then you saw him, Nico Collins was on that roster for 2 years and did nothing. Became a bona fide number one. Tank Dell comes in and he electrifies the stadium. They get your tight end. And Dalton goes down there and lights it up. And this guy's just making one great decision after another. And you got to give a lot of credit to Bobby Sloat, the offensive coordinator, and kind of how they game planned. But make no mistake, we need great young quarterbacks. We just do. The league is built on them. And to see CJ come in and play at that level, we're a better league because of it.
I'm talking about C.J. Stroud. I've got to ask you this question because I've seen it happen before. A guy comes in, has a great rookie year, and then defensive coordinators are pretty smart guys, and they adjust. And it's the great ones that can deal with that. And C.J. Stroud's going to face that next year.
Yeah, no doubt. And then, does he have a sophomore slump? Does he, improve upon it? Does he get better with all the experience that he's gaining? Do they do a good job this offseason of building and continue to build around him, whether it's running back, better offensive lineman, whatever, a couple more impactful defensive players. Like if they continue to build around him, I'd be surprised if we see a slump.
Going to be interesting. Who do you think is going to hoist the trophy on Sunday?
I mean, Mahomes is pretty good at practicing that. I just can't go against him. Can San Francisco win? Absolutely. But I think Kansas City defensively has carried this team all year, and I think they're going to show up and play well on Sunday too.
Going to be a great game.
It's going to be
sure.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so.
Brian Baldinger joining us here on the Blitz on behalf of our friends at Centergenics. And, we talk about all the different numbers for the games. And Centergenics, you certainly want to know those numbers.
Well, that number is your testosterone number. And so I don't know. I can't speak for everybody at the table here, but I'm not quite the same man I was 10 or 20 years ago. We need a little help along the way to keep our energy up and our vitality up. And really, you go to a Synergetic store or outlet right now and get your blood tested. They can find your score immediately, and then you can make the right adjustments to get yourself back to where you need to be.
FixMyLoad.com.
Right. I mean, a lot of guys though are, it's kind of they've been ashamed to do that, right? But is that changing a little bit?
No, I think we have to come to realize that we have science working in our favor right now, and it's really. I mean, there's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, I just think that I want to have the same energy about this game in my life and my lifestyle as I had when I was 30. And it's been able to do that for me.
Excellent.
Good stuff. Brian Baldinger, always fun catching up with you, my friend.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Appreciate
Brian
it.
Baldinger
Good chat.
joining us here on Radio Row as we continue. Dallas Cowboys running back Tony Pollard is coming by. He joins us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I want to talk about the Golf Club of Texas. If you haven't been to the Golf Club of Texas lately, you haven't been to the Golf Club of Texas. This place has improved dramatically. It's a first-class place. It's not a private club, but it has that country club feel. Open to the public 7 days a week. And, well, the Golf Club of Texas offers some of the best course conditions in town with the friendliest staff. But it's not just that. Even if you're not a golfer, get out to the Golf Club of Texas. They have one of the best restaurants on that side of town called the Tin Cup. Always open to the public. And, again, you're going to feel like you're at a country club when you're not. Great, friendly staff that will take care of you. The Golf Club of Texas, it is worth your time, worth a trip to go see those friendly folks. Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. For dinner at the Tin Cup or round with your buddies, your next tournament, go check them out. Best rates are always online at golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, we sum up what has been a phenomenal media week. We have for you a host of guests. Who do we have on the docket? RJ Ochoa,
Lee Steinberg, Kellen Winslow, Matt Ryan, Kayvon Thibodeau, Tony Khan, and maybe a surprise or two. But don't forget, we have to pick this thing. Somebody's going to get a trophy on Sunday night, and we're going to tell you who, and we're going to tell you why. We start at 6, but that's 4 for me and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rind Appreciation Day celebration. Enter to win $5,000 cash, tailgating prizes, plus Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds when you pass the pigskin. Enter at porkrindappreciationday.com. That's porkrindappreciationday.com. And make sure to pick up the protein-packed, bold flavors of Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds today at H-E-B.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-785-9545. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-785-9545 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-785-9545 to see if you qualify. That's 800-785-9545.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
All right, guys, who's ready for the biggest game of the season this Sunday? Hey, it's James Pledger. Come pregame with me and San Antonio Sports Star and the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks out at the Twin Peaks Park North location starting at noon. Show up early. The first 100 fans get a free square, and every fan will walk away with a free fried pickles bounce back. This is going on at all 4 area Twin Peaks locations. So come join me this Sunday and register to win tickets to Machine Head while you're here. That's starting at noon at Twin Peaks Park North, 410 and Blanco Road.
No amount of money can be up for a life. Salinas and at George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our team of attorneys will fight to get you the maximum compensation because we prepare and we care. So if you've been injured in an accident, get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's James Spudger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative and non-surgical drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, pain from arthritis or injury. Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics' advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk, run, play, and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe, live from Radio Row for Super Bowl LVIII in Las Vegas.
It is The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage from Las Vegas continues, brought to you by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Synergenics. As the home of the Dallas Cowboys in San Antonio, very cool to talk with Cowboys running back Tony Pollard. And what's interesting, Tony, is, at training camp we had you on and you had this thing around your neck and we were asking you about it. And now you're on Radio Row promoting it.
Yeah, I've been teamed up with Q-Collar now for about 2 years, and it was a no-brainer for me. Just anytime that you can prioritize brain health and, help extend the longevity of your career, I'm all for it. It's something that you don't really feel once you get used to wearing it. You honestly forget that it's on you.
Now, it's called Q-Collar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct? Now, so you put that on. You put that on while you're playing?
Yeah, every game.
Yeah.
It's a night and day difference. Just when I think about before I got the Q collar and taking big hits, and that little ringing feeling that you get up top, it goes away shortly, but that little feeling that you get after a big hit, since I've been wearing the Q collar, I don't get those feelings anymore.
Nice.
Cowboys running back Tony Pollard joining us here on The Blitz. When we talked to you in Oxnard, we knew you're on the tag. Zeke's gone. You're going to be the guy. And we talked about what you thought the season would be like. You went through the season. Internally, for you personally, how did the season go for you?
I feel like it was a pretty good season for me, especially coming off of broken leg, torn ligaments in my ankle, and then still being able to be a 1,000-yard rusher this year. As a whole, regular season we did good, but just disappointing in the postseason that we couldn't come out and get the W.
When you look at that, Tony, and I don't want to rehash the Green Bay game. That's gone. But was it something that Green Bay was doing that kind of threw you guys for a little bit of a loop? Or it seemed like they just took off and kind of hit you guys in the mouth right away?
That's a tough one. I say they executed better that day. They were the better team that day.
Gotcha.
That's kind of how it goes. For Mike McCarthy calling plays as opposed to Kellen Moore, you as the number one running back, hard to gauge what he was doing in the running game. But remember, he kept saying he wanted to run the ball more.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right, when is he going to give Tony the ball more often? Were you wondering the same thing? Like, I keep hearing Mike McCarthy wants to run the ball more. When am I going to get 20 carries a game?
I kind of got the gist of the offense because I feel like last year with Kellen Moore, it was more of a run the ball to open the pass game type of offense, but this year was more of a pass the ball to open up the run game. So me looking at, the history that he's had with quarterbacks and players, it kind of made sense.
What does Tony Pollard do now? I mean, what is when you're in the off season, and I know you've got some negotiations coming up and where you're going to be, and what do you do right now? What's your routine?
Right now, after the Super Bowl is over with, I'm grind mode back to it. I'm hitting it and getting it. And I know I'll be better than last year because I'm not rehabbing, trying to get back to square one. Now I can actually get better, better my game this offseason. So, just having that, knowing that, I'm having a healthy offseason, I feel like it's going to make all the difference for me this year coming up.
Tony Pollard joining us here on The Blitz. To touch on that, coming off the injury, everybody said, including you, you thought you were going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't see that big explosive play this past season like we had in years past. And people were talking about, well, if Zeke was getting the bulk of it, you came in fresh and you were able to get those big plays. Do you think the lack of the explosive plays was because you weren't where you needed to be?
I wouldn't say that. It was a lot of different things that played into that. I would say after the Panthers game is when that's when I felt like I was back, to being healthy. And, with the scheme, our offense changing a little bit, that played a role into it too. So it was a little bit of different things.
How much do you get involved in what's going to happen in the offseason, whether you negotiating to be back with Dallas or whether it's another team? How much do you get involved in that?
I try to stay out of it, really. Let my agent do the dirty work. He comes and tells me what's going on, what's the word, what's going around. And I tell him what I'm thinking, what I want. And then I let him go back and do work. And then he'll come back and let me know.
What does Tony Pollard want?
I want to get better every year. I want to be better.
Are you and I say this, and are you attached to the Dallas Cowboys? Is that somewhere you want to be?
That's somewhere I would love to be, play my career at. But at the end of the day, it's a business, so you can't forget that. That's got to be first and foremost. So it is what it is. Hopefully we can, get some going in Dallas and come back, but we don't know yet.
Well, and again, they did offer you a long-term contract. Remember, we talked about that in Oxnard. Whatever they offered you, it wasn't up for 3 years, not what you wanted or whatever it was. Yeah. You bet on yourself playing on the tag. Do you think they'll tag you again this year, or are you really going to have the chance to either get a great deal from Dallas or one to your liking, or you're going to go be a free agent?
Honestly, it's kind of hard for me to tell right now with the season technically still going on. I feel like after Super Bowl and once the free agency market gets going, then we'll have a better understanding of where things are going. But, yeah, it's kind of hard for me to know right now.
You're not giving us any kind of tell here, man. We're in Vegas. You should be giving it, some kind of like I know you want to be in Dallas, but you're going where the biggest paycheck is, right?
It's a business.
It's a business. And do you think the running back market this year will be a little different than it was last year? It was crazy last year when it came to running back.
Definitely.
You think it'll be any different?
I hope it's a little different, but it's kind of hard to tell right now.
Tony Pollard joining us here on the Blitz. And, Tony, you've got a skill that a lot of us probably wish we had, but we don't have the ability to do it. The season ended, and you disconnected from the world.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing you yesterday on Pat McAfee find out that Dan Quinn was no longer on your staff. What was my first thought was, has this guy been under a rock? And he said, man, I'm disconnected. How do you disconnect from the world like that, man?
Once you're a Dallas Cowboy, it's easy.
Really?
It's easy. It comes with being a Cowboy. The media, the attention, they're going to times two whatever you're doing. If you have a good game, they're going to say you should be MVP. You have a bad game, they may say you shouldn't be in the league. So, just trying to block all of that out, stay neutral, keep your mind clear.
There's not like a group text that says, hey, man, Dan Quinn's out? You just don't by accident see it on SportsCenter?
Nah, I've been out of it, out of football, out of the loop.
What are you doing?
But, that's a good question, right? Because it seems like the Dallas Cowboys, of all the teams in the NFL, are the most scrutinized. Mm-hmm. How difficult during the season is that to deal with, or how do you deal with it?
Honestly, I've gotten used to it. That's all I know. I've been a Cowboy since I've come into the league, so I'm used to the media, the attention, the stories, and the crazy reports that they come out with. So, at this point, it's normal to me. Like it's nothing. It's not too much that could surprise me, with the media and what comes out with the Dallas Cowboys. So you just have to learn to block it out. Just keep the blinders on and stay focused.
So you think about all the news out there, sports channels, social media. I'm guessing you're not going to be like Micah and start your own podcast.
Nah, that ain't me.
What do you think of Micah's podcast?
I watched like 1 or 2 episodes, like some of it. It's cool podcast, but it's just not my type.
Not gonna do that, huh?
Yeah.
But and you really
I don't blame you.
Like nobody texted you like Dan Quinn's out?
Nah.
That's crazy to me. Literally.
But it's off season. You got to think, guys are with their family. They're on vacations. Like everybody's separated. Like so,
it doesn't affect Tony anyway.
Well, I mean,
right?
I don't know. You got friends. I don't know.
I mean, I talk to the defensive guys a lot. Actually, I talk to them a lot. But yeah, we never spoke about that.
So, any idea who's going to be the new defense coordinator?
I got no idea.
No, you even know who's interviewing. I'm kidding, man. Good stuff. Tony Pollard, I hope we get to see you in Oxnard
Yes,
in August, man.
Yes, sir. I hope to.
Appreciate it. Tony Pollard joining us here on the Blitz on our Radio Row coverage. And actually, it's the most open I've heard, Tony. He's, I don't know, 85th interview he's probably done over the last 2 days. I mean, we didn't get pillows like the Morning Cuddle Boys did. But,
I know it.
But it was opening up. No tell. The question is, as a Cowboy fan, do you want Tony Pollard back next year? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. I do find it interesting that he said he didn't feel like he was right until the Carolina game. Now, I will say this. I don't want Tony Pollard back as the main guy. They need to have that 1-2 punch, and Deuce Vaughn ain't it. They need another solid running back.
They need a banger, and they need somebody that can bang, right? And Pollard's not that guy. And look, I still think Tony Pollard, though, for the right price, is a quality back. And if he feels like he's healthy, then I think the Cowboys would be okay with him. But I'm with you in that respect. They've still got to have a change of pace guy, a guy that can bang, a guy that can get short yardage and touchdowns, obviously, in short yardage situations. What I found was interesting about what he said, Jason, was the fact that how things changed so much between Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy, where Kellen Moore was more of a run, set up the pass. McCarthy was a pass to set up the run. And I guess the pass never really set up the run because he didn't do much of it.
Well, although that said, and I know we had this debate several weeks ago, he was a 1,000-yard rusher.
Yeah.
And I make the case that a 1,000-yard rusher in today's National Football League is a big deal because it's a passing league. Yes, there are 17 games now, but it's harder to get 1,000 yards rushing for most guys with a passing offense and with the split backfield. Most are running back by committee.
Most of them are, and so maybe we ought to take that into consideration. But when I hear 1,000 yards for a running back, to me, I'm not impressed with the 17-game schedule. But when you put it like that, maybe I reserve the right to change my mind on that.
Well, and again, I know looking at some of the comments on YouTube, Miguel says CD's going to get the tag. Sorry, Tony. I don't see a way that the Cowboys put a second tag on Tony Pollard. Not a running back, not at that level. That's just not going to happen, right? He was offered a contract last year. He turned it down. I bet with the season that he had, he would love to have the contract that he turned down because he had the $10 million on the tag.
I don't know. It depends on what the numbers were because I have a feeling they weren't that great. And if you're talking about $10.5 million this year, maybe a 3-year contract worth 15 perhaps, 18 at the most. If you're Tony Pollard, why not take it? It's kind of like winning the lottery. Do you want the lump sum or do you want the monthly payments or whatever? He took the lump sum, and I think, for him, that's more money than he's ever made in his entire life. And so I think that, he was happy with that deal. See what he can get now in the open market, because I quite frankly believe that the Cowboys, unless they get him back, just dirt cheap, he's going to be playing for somebody else next year.
Although I wonder who's going to pay him. I mean, when you look at it, Kellen Moore, is they going to take him to Philadelphia? They've got their running back situation is pretty good, and we saw the running back market change, and I don't see it coming back this quickly. And Tony Pollard did not separate himself this year in his 1 year to be the number one guy, his 1 year to be the bell cow. He didn't separate himself as one of the best. I saw a list a week ago about the top 50 free agents, and I think it was 46. 5, 6, 7 running backs in front of him. So I don't know that he'll have the opportunity to go anywhere big money. He might be better off taking what Dallas offers, as long as, in my mind, Dallas goes and gets another running back, whether it's in the draft, second, third, fourth round guy. There's all the Derrick Henry stories out there. I don't know what Derrick Henry's market is going to be like, but the idea of a Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard backfield, that does excite me to a degree.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. I mean, who wouldn't want to have Derrick Henry even on the backside of his career? But other than Christian McCaffrey, and I'll throw this out to you and everybody that's listening, what other running back can you name that was a splash, just a guy that made a huge difference?
Well, I mean, I look at Detroit. They had two that really came on strong. And you look at one, a rookie that they didn't have any expectation of, as it wasn't until an injury that they figured out really how to use them. I mean, there are good running backs out there. But Mike McCarthy and how he's going to use his running backs. I mean, look at, what Aaron Jones did to the Cowboys in the postseason. But this draft, there are some good running backs, not first rounders, obviously, but those mid-round guys. I know you hate the University of Michigan when it comes to drafting players for the Cowboys, but that'd be a running back that I'd be pretty excited about.
Well, I'm just saying I'm just going back in history. It hasn't worked out too well for the Dallas Cowboys when they go to the University of Michigan. So, having said that, look, they've got to draft the running back in this draft, don't they? I mean, I think it's a priority. They have to get it done, and then that's why I think that Tony Pollard is going to be playing somewhere else. He may not even get an offer from the Cowboys if they decide to go that way. And you've got a rookie running back on a rookie deal. You bring in a veteran. There were guys that were available, bangers that they could have brought in, I think, and for whatever reason they never did. And
they missed on Tony Pollard. They missed on judging on what he would be able to do as the number one guy and where he would be health-wise. I mean, when the dude sat right there and just said he didn't feel right till the Carolina game, although he did not use the injury as the reason they didn't have the explosive plays. But the Cowboys missed in their evaluation of thinking they could get rid of Zeke and go with Tony Pollard and Rico Dowdle as their guys. That was a miss. They missed on what they had with Tony Pollard. He proved he's a great number two running back. He's the good guy to come in and spell the number one. He's not a number one.
I think that's unfair because he didn't have anybody else. I mean, what running backs not named Christian McCaffrey do that? Who now, and you just mentioned Detroit, they've got two running backs.
Sure.
You got to have two. Rico Dowdle, I mean, he was all we had, right? So we're reaching in the bottom of the barrel, and there's Dowdle.
But they kept Dowdle around because they liked him. Kid was always hurt the last couple of years. I think Tony Pollard this year, and I like Tony Pollard as a number two. I don't think he's a good number one. And there's nothing wrong with that. He has 1 year to prove it. Do you think he's getting big money after what you saw this past year? No. But I do think the Cowboys will give him a fair offer because they like him. He understands the system. There won't be a drop-off. And just going with what he just told us, I do think he'll be better next year. Just his offseason isn't about rehab, getting back to your starting point and then building from there. It's building and trying to get better from this year. But I still don't think he's the number one. And keep in mind, the argument was when Zeke was there, look at what Tony Pollard does when he comes in. And think about what Emmitt Smith told us last year. The number two is always great. Wait till you're the number one. And Emmitt Smith proved to be right. He wasn't the number one guy in college at the University of Memphis. And he hadn't been until this past year in the NFL. I don't bring him back as the number one guy.
Well, he wouldn't have made big money anyway, even if he had a hell of a year.
Well, he made $10 million.
Well, it's a franchise tag. They didn't have a choice. That's not what they offered him on a 3-year deal. So I don't think he makes big money either way. But just saying he failed as a number one running back, I think is unfair to Tony Pollard. I really do. If he was still hurt and the Cowboys missed on that, okay, I'll give you that. But I think it's unfair to say, this is all on you, Tony Pollard. You're not a number one guy, and you failed miserably, so go be a number two somewhere. I just think that's unfair for the kid. But I think a lot of that blame falls on the Cowboys organization. I mean, there's a lot of guys that we're talking about on that Cowboys team that maybe shouldn't be number one guys. And that's just what you have to do. I think they failed him by not having a quality running back, somebody that could pick up the short yardage like a Zeke Elliott, a Leonard Fournette. I mean, name the guys that were available. I think they failed not only Tony Pollard, but their entire running game in general.
I don't disagree with that the Cowboys failed as an organization. I do disagree with you saying it's not Tony's fault. He's a great number 2 running back. He's not a bell cow running back.
Well, you know that after 1 year? You know that after 1 year.
I know that.
Guy got 1,000 yards this year.
He had.
And again, I guess you, by your own words, said that's pretty good these days.
His coaching staff at the University of Memphis didn't think he could be a number 1
He's
guy.
not at the University of Memphis anymore. It's the Dallas Cowboys.
Jason Garrett's coaching staff never made him a number 1. Mike McCarthy's coaching staff this year finally made him a number 1, and his numbers plummeted.
He got 1,000 yards.
All right.
Did he not rush for 1,000 yards?
Go look at his yard per carry average, his touchdown, and his lack of explosive plays.
You just said 1,000 yards for a running back is good these days. Well, he got 1,000 yards.
It is.
So
it's
so
you're just looking at total because you didn't watch a damn game all year and say, man, Tony Pollard is getting screwed, did you?
No, I said that I don't know what the hell Mike McCarthy's doing.
Well, we've all said
that. We all said that, so that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's entirely Tony Pollard's fault. And I don't think after 1 year you can say automatically, without question, he's not a number 1 back. I just don't think you can.
Well, I can.
Well, you did.
And I did.
And I disagree completely.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You disagree with reality all the time.
Reality.
I mean, if there's a player that you like, man, you will defend that guy tooth and nail.
I like
player that you hate, you're ready to get rid of him right away.
I'm not a Tony Pollard fan club member. But I just think it's unfair that we go, well, 1 year and automatically he's just not that guy. I think there's a lot of blame to go around when it comes to how he was used and what he had behind him. And I just don't think it's fair to determine that after 1 year.
Fair enough. We'll ask Emmett Smith that tomorrow when he joins us here on the Blitz.
I'll ask him, sure.
Because I know what Emmett told us last year, and I think Emmett was right.
I'm just going by what you said. 1,000 yards is pretty good for a running back.
1,000 yards, pretty good year over 17 games, but his per game, his average, all of those numbers way down. No explosives. All of that's down.
Well, because Mike McCarthy threw the football. That's what they did, and he just said it. You throw the ball to set up the run, and can we just say something? And I don't want to change the subject. Brian Baldinger. I use cupcakes. He uses tomato cans. Same thing. Cowboys had the easiest schedule of all time this year. It's incredible. Tomato cans.
You like that?
I loved it. Are you kidding me? It's the best thing that dude said.
He's Joe Reinagel. He's lost, and we're, an hour in? Good Lord. Mark Schlereth will join us next on the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Thinking about some Spurs games this week. The big game on Sunday. The best place to go watch that game on Sunday over at the Roo Pub there at 281 and Redland Road with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. And when you get into the Roo Pub, go hungry. The food, fantastic, all made from scratch. They have the biggest and best wings in town, about 15 different burgers on the menu. Great salads, great appetizers, and that kitchen is open late till 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. Roo Pub has happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night. The best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub just down in the same plaza there is the Big Blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Have pain? Have chronic pain, low back pain, knee pain, neck pain, or shoulder pain? I can help. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we get to the root of your pain. We don't just give pain medications. We do the proper investigation to see what is the root cause, and it's covered by your insurance. Reduce your medication, avoid surgery, and get rid of pain for good. Call for your free evaluation. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, where we get to the root cause of your problem. 210-468-1891.
Did you know some ordinary cold medicines can raise your blood pressure? That's alarming. Fortunately, there's Vicks NyQuil high blood pressure. It's specially formulated without alcohol, sugar, or decongestants to provide fast, powerful nighttime colds and flu symptoms relief for people with high blood pressure. So if you have high blood pressure, try NyQuil high blood pressure. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, colds, and flu for people with high blood pressure medicine. Use as directed and keep out of reach of children.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Brakes? We can save you 15% on that. We have OE quality Duralast brake pads and rotors in stock, ready for pickup or delivery. We also have calipers, brake fluid, tools, and anything else you'll need to do the job right. When you get Duralast pads and rotors together, you'll save 15%. It's just part of what makes us America's #1 brakes destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Okay, 3 more climbers, 7 loggers.
Ted's sustainably sourced logging company is growing a new branch.
What about truck driver contracts?
Which means a new HR manager will be the first hire to fall.
Then we'll need to staff up the warehouse.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
Score big with LS Tractors at Dietz Tractor in Seguin, the MVPs of the field. LS Tractors, the star quarterbacks of farming, perfect for tough tasks for farm, ranch, and landscaping. Dietz Tractors has your all-star coaching staff for top-notch equipment. They're not just selling tractors, they're building lasting relationships with unmatched dealer support for parts and maintenance. It's a winning strategy that goes beyond the final whistle. Don't miss the game-winning move. 0% financing available with approved credit on LS Tractors. Start blue, stay blue at Dietz Tractor in Seguin.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM, Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
The NBA trade deadline has come and gone. The Spurs didn't make a move with the Indiana Pacers. Pacers are trading Marcus Morris, a second-round pick, and cash to the Spurs, all for Doug McDermott. Jeremy Sohan has been named by NBA Commissioner Adam Silver as a replacement, an injury replacement, for the Rising Stars game during All-Star Weekend. Spurs back in action tonight against the Orlando Magic. Tip at 6.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix in Vegas for Radio Row, our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage, brought to you by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Always fun catching up. Joining Joe Reinagel, me, Jason Minix. Man, Marks, what's been fun is your booth for your show in Denver is literally right behind us.
Yes.
The innovation that you guys have is incredible.
Really? Just my little hot shot? That's it. Well, like I just came out here on my own, and I was busting the proverbial balls of our station folks because I was like I've had 3 or 4, 5 friends, guys that played in the league, guys that have come down, sit down, like, hey, want me to hop on? I go, I don't even have an extra mic. No, I don't. Like we'd have to be like conjoined twins. I'd have to, stick you in my headphone there with me. So yeah, we got nothing.
I love the tripod that you made out of coffee cups upside down to hold the phone.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's my man 101. I'm like MacGyver over here, just making crap go. So, of course, part of that is because I walk out of the garage. I can't remember where I walked out there, so I forgot to bring my tripod with me. So I was like, oh shoot,
that happens to all of us. Right?
Yeah, gonna have to get innovative.
Yeah. Well, how do you like this radio thing?
Oh, it's great. I mean, have you ever seen a collection, a bigger collection of fat, unathletic white people in one place in your entire life? I haven't.
Is he talking about us?
Yeah, radio people, not the athletes walking around.
Right? No, not the athletes, just the general radio people.
That's exactly what he is doing.
Yeah.
Mark, we're Cowboys country. Down in San Antonio.
Well, God bless you guys.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
Right. You know what I said about them in September in my Stinking Truth podcast? I go, they're going to be great. They're going to win a lot of games, and they're going to take a dump in their helmets when the playoffs come around. And you know what? Sure enough, that's exactly what happened.
I'd like to give you a lot of credit for foresight, but we've got 28 years of the same thing, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
It's either they're going to the Super Bowl or they're going to crap out in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, I always say this, and I mean it. Like, it's one thing to hire a coach. It's another thing to empower a coach. And just organizational structure has to be right. We always used to joke around, hey, owners own, they cut checks, players play, and, and coaches coach. And, when your owner's doing biweekly radio shows and a backup quarterback that was a former first-round, third pick overall shows up in your locker room and the head coach doesn't know about it, that's a problem. It's a huge problem. And I know, hey, listen, man, I was a player. We're children. Like, we are children. And if I know, like I always say, there's two types of fear that are imperative in an NFL locker room. There is one fear, the fear of the Lord, right? Which is, biblically speaking, fear of the Lord, it means awesome reverence and respect. You got to have reverence and respect for the guy who's coaching you. 2 is straight up fear. That dude will cut my ass in a heartbeat if I don't play. Like Mike Shanahan would cut me in a heartbeat, and in the same sentence, like, hey, by the way, you're not playing well enough. You're done. But you want to come over to my house for pizza? Like that's the way it would have been. I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll get a slice, right? I mean, it's just the way it works, and you have to have those two. That dynamic has got to be part of your locker room. You've got to know the guy who's coaching you ultimately can cut you without even thinking about it, and have no repercussions for doing it. And if your organization is not structured that way, I am sorry, we are children. We will take advantage of it as players, and it's never going to work.
And when it comes to the Cowboys this year, you've got Mike McCarthy, last year of his contract, lame duck coach, if you will. Does that make the situation worse?
Yeah, I think that ultimately, he's not truly in charge, and ultimately, I mean, he is, but he's not. We always used to joke around in my former, not the Broncos, but my former team, the team formerly known as the Redskins. I mean, if you got a back staircase up to the owner's office, it's just it organizationally speaking, it just makes it really tough. And they've got great players, man. The Dallas Cowboys have they're just an unbelievably talented team. And if you put their talent against anybody's talent in the league, they're a top 5 talent team. And there's no question in my mind they're a top 5 talent team. But like, talent's wasted on talented people. I'd rather have. I've created my own. I haven't even said this. I created my own, and I'm not an analytics guy. Like math has never made a tackle. It's never blocked anybody. I think most of it's crap. But I created my own advanced analytic. I call it BOO, or the boost scale. That's balls over opponent. Your balls have to be bigger than your opponent's balls. Talent-wise, they got talent over a lot of opponents. Balls, I'm not so sure.
There you go. Mark Schlereth, three-time Super Bowl champion here on the Blitz. Cowboys offensive line at one point was the best in football. Not close to it now. When you look at their offensive line play, and, you know, like Terrence Steele's a kid from San Antonio, kind of a surprise that he got to the Cowboys, made the improvement, got a big contract. Tyler Biotish, they got to figure out at center. Tyron Smith, it's not if he gets hurt, it's when and how many games is he going to miss. How good is the Cowboys offensive line in your mind right now, and is that an area they need to address this offseason?
Well, that's an area you always need to be developing guys, and it's really hard to develop guys in today's NFL because, you know, we don't practice anymore. Like I always say that's the most skilled position in football, bar none. Moving a man from point A to point B against his will is the greatest skill you can have. And collectively, we're, as a group, we are the worst athletes on the football field, right? Now think about this. Think about any position in professional sports, okay? I'll give you anything. Show me where, unlike athletes, match up against each other, and the athlete who's the worst athlete is expected to win 100% of the battles. And if he gives up one sack, he's a piece of garbage, and the guy that gets the sack goes to the Pro Bowl. You show me one other where, like, if you're a safety and you line up against the tight end, you're like athletes. You're a corner, you line up against a wide receiver, you're like athletes. You know, I'm a offensive tackle, and I'm lining up against Micah Parsons. Those are two different animals, right? And think about, like, I've seen corners transition to safety, safeties transition to linebacker, linebackers transition to DNs, DNs transition to D tackles, D tackles transition to offensive linemen. Offensive linemen, the transition is fan. You don't go anywhere else. That's the last rung on the ladder. You go from O lineman to fan. And so there is an unbelievable skill in blocking people that are better athletes than you, a technique that is absolutely unmatched in football. I can take a ball and throw it to anybody in here, and they could catch it and throw it back to me. If we did a one-on-one right here, I'd whip everybody's ass. And so there's a skill involved in that, and I don't think people understand how important that skill is and how difficult that skill is. So I'm always for taking offensive linemen, always for developing those guys. And ultimately, you know, like, we sit here and criticize offensive lines, but I'm going to tell you this right now. You give up 5 sacks or 6 sacks in a game, your O-line doesn't suck as bad as your play caller sucks. It is imperative that you as a play caller understand the problems that we have up front, and that you as a play caller give us an opportunity to have tools in our tool belt to change things up. So, for instance, if we're going to throw it 35 times, I need to whittle that number down to about 12 times where I have to hold up. Meaning, okay, we're going to have 5 kind of bubble screens, right? 5 swing passes. Now I'm down to 25 plays. Now I need 5 3-step drops, quick game, right? Now I'm down to 20 plays. Now I need 5 5-step drops that don't have a hitch, right? I know the ball's out right now, so I can up kick and attack the protection in a 5-step drop. Now I'm down to 15. Do I have a couple of other screen passes in there? Now I'm down to 12 plays. Now 12 plays, if I can't hold up, then I suck, right? But if you give me enough of a change-up, if you give me enough of a chance to be the aggressor, what I always talk about when I'm consulting with teams is, how do we take the passive out of pass protection? How can I be the aggressor? If you just sit back and let me bleed, I'm going to give up. Like, I'm going to give up plays, and not give up like I'm not going to quit, but I mean, I'm going to give up big plays. And so you as a play caller, if you don't understand the difficulty we have up front, then you suck. And we need a different play caller.
Well, it's interesting. How do you not be passive if you're blocking for the quarterback? Because how do you be aggressive?
Well, you give me an opportunity to attack. You give me an opportunity to run a couple of screens. You give me an opportunity to run that quick game. Like, I can come off. So if you and I are going against each other, right, and you beat me clean, and we're in like let's say
that probably would happen, right? Mark, I don't know.
Let's just talk about, we're in a 5-step drop or something, right? And you beat me clean, and I barely disrupt you at all. It still takes you 1.7 seconds to get to the quarterback. Okay. So if all of a sudden I'm coming off the ball in a rumble, and you got to defend the run, and then you're like, oh shoot, it's not a run, they're throwing the ball. I just won. You're not going to get to my quarterback, right? So you as a I knew every drop and every timing of every route based on the route combination called. So I know if we run all go special, it's a 5-step drop, but I know the ball's out. So now I can run block on a 5-step drop. Well, all of a sudden I'm run blocking you and you're like, what the hell? And the quarterback's taking a 5-step drop and it's a deep drop. Like, you're like, what? Like, now you're second guessing yourself as a defensive lineman. So you give me the opportunity to take, like I said, the passive out of pass protection with the way in which you call plays. Now I've got you on skates as opposed to the other way around. But that's how play calling, when you get a great play call, like there's guys who call plays. I'll change that up. There's guys who call plays. There are guys who call an offense. I need a guy who calls an offense, not a plays. Right? And gives me that opportunity to be successful. And when you have those type of guys as play callers, guys who call the offense, that's what I think Kyle Shanahan is the best in football at doing that.
Interesting.
It is interesting. Mark Schlereth joining us here on the Blitz as you say that. But like Mike McCarthy, do you think he's a guy calling plays or a play caller versus Kellen Moore, who I felt like was always trying to call plays to get a lot of yards and go score?
Yeah, I think McCarthy is a guy who's calling an offense and has an understanding of that. I think, ultimately for a guy like Kellen Moore, right, how do you become a head coach? You, by developing quarterback and making big plays on the offensive side of the ball. Like that stuff is like, that's Viagra to 80-year-old owners. Like, they can't get enough of that stuff, right? So, so that's endemic, and that's part of the issue with how the league operates. Like you don't want to, as a play caller, to have to run the ball and to be boring and to churn those 5-yard gains. And like that for a lot of those guys that consider themselves innovators, that's boring. And they don't want to be that. But ultimately,
like McDaniel in Miami,
I will tell you right now that there are things that win in the National Football League, and one thing that will never go in and out of style, if you control line of scrimmage. You just control line of scrimmage, you win. I don't care who your quarterback is. I don't care who anybody, like, you control line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively, you win. And that's probably about an 85% clip. Show me the team. Like, I don't look at a lot of stats. Show me the team that has the most attempts in the running game. I'll show you the team that wins 85% of the games.
Wow.
You can look it up. Go through it. Go through any game, and I'll show me, and I'll show you the team that wins.
It's going to be interesting.
Why do you think the running backs are like off to the side now? Nobody wants to pay them, and nobody thinks they have to.
Well, they don't, because it's the easiest position to transition from college. It's the one position where if you've got great eyes and great feel, you can be successful. And, you got a guy playing in the Super Bowl, Isaiah Pacheco, who's outstanding, who's a 7th rounder. And then you kick them to the curb when they get beat up. You don't care. I mean, they're disposable. And so, I always found it funny when the running backs were complaining and, we're being devalued and, we're going to stand up. The running backs are going to stand up. Where were you guys when they were excommunicating fullbacks, right?
Yeah.
The guys your running mates in the back. You didn't say jack diddly when that was happening, did you? So what I have no sympathy for those guys. Like that's what happens. It's a position you play. They're going to use you up and they're going to spit you out, and that's just the way it works.
3-time Super Bowl champion Mark Schlereth joining us here on the Blitz. You're talking lots of numbers. You're with Low T Center, lowtcenter.com. Obviously, that's about knowing all your numbers.
Yeah, it is. And I'm telling you, as a former player, one of the things that happens to a lot of players is they start to, as they retire, and I think a lot of it has to do with head trauma. It's been explained to me, but a lot of guys have really low testosterone. It's what happened to me. And I went to my cardiologist and was talking with my doctor, and my testosterone was so low. They say, hey, you need to supplement your testosterone. It's good for your health. And interestingly enough, was with them and worked with them for a couple of years. And I always had a really good, every week you go in, you take your blood pressure, you take your heart rate, you do all the oxygen and, the whole 9 yards. And I take my blood every 3 months or so. And I always had a resting heart rate of like 60-ish, like right at 60. I went in one week and my heart rate was 99.
Whoa.
And they're like, hey, man, something triggered here. I went on, and I made an appointment with my doctor. It turned out I had AFib. and which is you're 5 times more likely to have a stroke if you have AFib, and ended up having a couple of cardio versions, and that didn't fix it, and then ended up having to have a heart surgery and have an ablation, but probably wouldn't have known if it wasn't for going in weekly to Low T Center. So, and, as guys, I mean, you always have something that bothers you, right? You don't ever address it. Like I always joke around, if it wasn't for my wife, I'd be dead. But I mean, that's just how we operate. So, I'm a debt of gratitude. They've been great to me.
Good stuff. LowTCenter.com. Mark Schlereth, always great catching up to you, man.
Likewise, guys. Take care.
Absolutely. More coming up here from Las Vegas on Radio Row. Bruce Smith will join us at 4 o'clock. Neil Smith at 3:30 as we continue our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage, brought to you by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds.
The Sports Star Boys are in Vegas for the big game.
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Robin, RJ, and Jason and Joe are in Sin City and Radio Row for the big game, with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Woo!
I think you gonna get away with it. Not up in here. Not up in here.
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergenics, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Guys, I've been telling you about Synergenics, the website fixmylowt.com, and here on Radio Row, Wayne Wilson, the CEO of Synergenics, is with us. Wayne, why is it important for Synergenics to be on Radio Row?
Yeah, so it's been great. We've been able to educate guys in what's important and to get their levels checked.
And that's what you guys are doing. So to get your levels checked, how do you get that process started?
It's simple and easy. You come into the office, you get a blood test. Within 25 minutes, we give you your results.
And you get those results. And at Synergenics, you're going to get customized care from testosterone specialists. Book your appointment online at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. Whether you've been living with chronic and nagging pain for years, or if you've recently experienced an injury, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible. Arasti is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, Arasti accepts most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Now, during Staples Print Big Sale, get $20 off your print purchase of $100 or more, $50 off your print purchase of $200 or more, and $100 off your print purchase of $300 or more. So the more you print at Staples, the more you save. To demonstrate, print at Staples, you save. But if you print at Staples, you save. See how that works? Staples Print Big Sale. Print more, save more. Up to $100. Ends 2/10. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like saddling up and chasing down.
Look at that sweet moolah!
That big old cash cow.
Look at all that money!
File for free with TaxSlayer Simply Free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our motto is simple. George gets justice. But what does that mean for you? It means you get an award-winning team of attorneys who will fight for everything taken from you so that you can get back to what matters in life. When we say George gets justice, it's just not a motto. It's a commitment to you. Call us at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage from Las Vegas brought to you by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Synergenics. Their website, fixmylowt.com. And you look at and you think about everything going on here on Radio Row. 324 back in San Antonio. Neil Smith coming up. Bruce Smith. He's got M&M's. The Hall of Famer. He'll be.
Yeah.
But, you know, he and Dan Marino are doing those deals with the Super Bowl rings.
I want one of those.
You know, Dan Marino just had little bags of peanut M&Ms. I'd be curious to see.
I'm hoping Bruce has a ring.
Well, I do want to see what those rings look like, right?
I want one.
I mean, well, and at this point, M&Ms.
I'm an M&M Hall of Famer, I think.
Jamal Lewis, Warren Sapp, Steve Largent, still on the way. And I just saw Tim Spence was Swampy was under the table. He pulled out a bag of chips.
Yeah,
looking for food. I found one candy bar left.
Dude, there is a whole bag full of stuff.
Oh, over there?
Well, yeah, it's under the table.
Well, I was a little nervous when I saw Spence coming out from under the table. I'm not going to lie. I had no idea he was down there. So it was like, whoa, where'd that come from?
All kinds of things there.
Well, that's not what I meant.
That's on a team.
Not at all.
And I'm not going to say it. I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
That's not where I was
I'll
going
eat
with
any nut under the sun.
But he's had like 18 bags of chips today. They had some fried catfish earlier.
Well, yeah.
So next year's Super Bowl is in New Orleans. So their host committee is here, and they did some fried catfish, which was fantastic.
They were a little stingy with that, though.
Well,
I got a little catfish nugget.
Well, all of us got one, but Spence got two.
Really?
I'm not sure how he negotiated a second piece of catfish, but he got two. And now he's giving me the look. He got two and a finger. I mean, I'm getting it all now. But that's all right. They had a wonderful pizza last night. You and I and my daughter went and had a fantastic dinner. Our grand plans of going to the El Cortez last night fell apart when Rob and RJ lost their vehicle.
Oh, my gosh, dude. Yeah, because that was a 2-hour ordeal to find the car.
Now, it's a big parking garage. I get that. I've known Rob Thompson a long time. I am not surprised he didn't know where the car was. RJ Ochoa, I'm extremely disappointed that guy had no idea where the car was. Now, one thought they were parked on the second level. One thought they were parked on the fourth level. And after we kind of walked around all the levels, then those two were just off on their own, and we waited. And then a security guy went by and was like, hey, man, I know this sounds like I'm an idiot. You lose a car. Well, did it get towed? Do you know if no cars were towed today. All right. Car's lost. Well, find the guy with the key fob, and I'm on a bike, and I'll go find your car. Turns out they weren't on the second. They weren't on the fourth. They were on the 5th floor in a different garage than the one we were looking at.
And by the way, it took the security guard on his bicycle about 5 minutes to find it.
Yep.
Where we were looking around for 2 hours. These guys were crazy. I think Rob wore out the fob.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to replace those batteries. So the rental car place will probably have to do that pretty soon.
Yeah, that'll be their problem, not ours.
That was interesting because that's never happened. I mean, I've lost a car where you don't remember exactly where you parked, but
you're somewhere close.
Right. And then you usually find it after a few minutes. 2 hours.
It was miserable. And so we get back to the house finally. And there was all the talk of we were going to the El Cortez. Well, RJ was like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. Rob was like, I've got to go to bed in an hour because, they're getting up here.
Yeah, sure.
So we were like, we're going to dinner and we're still going to go out. Spence decided, you know what, they're ordering pizza. I'm just going to stay home. So the three of us, we go out and we found this great Italian restaurant that was fantastic.
It was great.
And then we decided after we ate all that Italian food, yeah, we're not going out either.
Dude, I can't remember a time that I was in bed by 9:45, especially in Vegas. Are you kidding me? You don't sleep at all here. But yesterday was quite the day. 9:45. I'm looking at the clock going, damn, I'm in bed at 9:45.
Well, I was thinking the same. I went to bed around 10. Now, granted, because I'm sharing a room with my daughter, we've got a bathroom. She was going to go shower and do all that stuff. So I just stayed downstairs for a while. And it was like 10 o'clock. She texted, good. And I'm like, going to bed at 10 o'clock? Yeah. I'm in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Who the hell am I?
Dude.
Who the hell am I?
Well, it was a wise move on our part because the next 2 nights are going to be a lot of fun. We got the cigar party tonight.
Yes, sir.
And then tomorrow night, who knows what. And I'm sure the El Cortez will be thrown into something either tonight or tomorrow night. So, because I'm not leaving here, dude, without going there.
We will end up at the El Cortez. When? I have no idea. Now, tonight is the cigar party, so it's not going to be tonight.
Won't be tonight.
I can almost guarantee that the cigar party is just phenomenal. Tomorrow night, while there are no plans, there are a lot of things in play that could keep us from going to the El Cortez.
Well, then I guess we're just going to have to go late.
Well, we could go late, or something could happen with our flights and we don't make Saturday's flight and we just stay an extra day.
Well, that could happen, but I would prefer it happen on Friday. Honestly, so many things. It's so weird coming to Vegas and working because it's just a city. It's a regular old city. There are restaurants, there's convenience stores, there's grocery stores. Man, I never knew that.
Well, like the restaurant we were at last night, like all the places that packed.
Yes.
Can't get in. No, I mean, nothing. We went to this place that was phenomenal. I'd say it would be like Paisanos.
I would say that.
Maybe even a little bit nicer than Paisanos.
Yeah.
Fantastic. There were like 8 tables in there.
Yeah.
I mean, that table was open. That table was if that restaurant was on the strip, one, dinner would have cost twice as much, but 2, it would have been packed. It was a fantastic day. It was Wednesday night. It was our first sit down meal since we've gotten here.
It
will be our last sit down meal. While we were here,
you got to eat what you can when you can. Here in Radio Row, especially starting yesterday for the rest of the week. So that's just the way it is. But it's fun. That's what makes it fun.
Well, and of course, eating on a Super Sunday is a lot of fun. Coming up later in the show, we'll give away a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market when we judge meat as a part of Grilling with the Blitz. And you think about Super Sunday, man, you've got to have big things going on your grill. And Tri-County has everything you need to up your grilling game. They locally own, full service, and they've got some great specials for this weekend for Super Sunday. 20% off sirloin fajitas, chicken fajitas, their fresh sausage that they make, all their chicken wings, and baby back pork ribs. 20% off Thursday through Super Bowl Sunday. Maybe you're thinking brisket. You can certainly do that. You want to do some steaks, burgers. Their brisket burgers are great. If you want to do hot dogs, man, you can't find a better hot dog than what they have and sell there at Tri-County Meat Market. They always offer a 10% discount for military and first responders. 2 great locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Huebner, online at tricountymeat.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, we sum up what has been a phenomenal media week. We have guess who do we have on the docket? RJ Ochoa,
Lee Steinberg, Kellen Winslow, Matt Ryan, Kayvon Thibodeau, Tony Khan, and maybe a surprise or two. But don't forget, we have to pick this thing. Somebody's going to get a trophy on Sunday night, and we're going to tell you who, and we're going to tell you why. We start at 6, but that's 4 for me and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
Rob Thompson here for SA Card House. It's where I go to get my poker on. They're over at 281 in Bitters, 13400 San Pedro Avenue if you are going to be using the map services. Easy to get to, open 7 days a week. Everything that I've been looking for. Look, I've played poker for years, and card houses have been a great experience, but let me tell you, you want to talk about next level, it's SA Card House, because they've got everything that I want. I'm not just a casual player. I like to play, but I like to play with folks I like. I like to be in an environment that I feel comfortable, enjoy the people around, the service and all that goes around that. I get all of that. And then you add in Foster's Grill, which takes SA Card House over the top. They have the opportunity, you have the opportunity to go play great cards in a great environment, a great place, and then add in a great meal made by worthy chefs. It is not pub grub. This is posh nosh. That's SA Card House. Games to be played, fun to be had. Go there today and thank me later.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
We are down to the big game in the football season, and you could still play along at Underdog Fantasy. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. I love playing the pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, where you pick between 2 and 5 players and select whether they will go higher or lower their predicted stats. And if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money in a single night. It is a fantasy game that is legal in Texas and certainly makes watching the games a lot more fun. Get in the game now. Go to their easy-to-use mobile app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100, and you're ready for the big game. Plus, they'll give you a special pickup higher than a half total yards to use on your first pick'em entry. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code STAR. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe, live from Radio Row for Super Bowl LVIII in Las Vegas.
Welcome back to the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage continues. Brought to you by Southern Recipe, Small Batch Pork Rinds, and Synergenics. Now joined by Neil Smith in the Kansas City Chiefs Hall of Fame. But you got your 2 rings with the Denver Broncos. But every year when we see you on Radio Row, man, you're just having fun with all these Chiefs appearances in the Super Bowl.
Nice for the last 4 or 5 years now. It's the 5th year, so it's been good.
Are you surprised is probably not the right word, but the Chiefs' success, and I mean, they're just a lot has to do with that quarterback, but I mean, and Andy Reid, but are you surprised by that?
No, I'm not. I mean, Andy has definitely put his foot down, and the Kansas City Chiefs came in. When he came to Kansas City, he had they put it all together, man. They say, hey, you know what? We have a great quarterback, and we want to put the players around him and to make it right. And I'll tell you what, they've done an excellent job of doing that. They're going to have their hands full again this week. You know, they've been here. You know, most of the Frisco guys that haven't been on that Super Bowl team of past have not, you know. But yet, you know, it's just another task at hand, man. I just think that, you know, they're always going to be in the hump. So I'm 15, he's got up, right?
Neil, you think about the past Chiefs Super Bowl appearances, been all about the offense. This year, their defense, being a defensive lineman, how much are you appreciating their focus on building that side of the ball?
Well, they have one more opportunity to get it done. You know, they've definitely struggled offensively wise, you know, throughout the years, but, you know, a lot of drop balls and, you know, a few turnovers early in the season. But I think they know when they're a good tournament team, put it like this. And when the tournament starts, you know, that one game elimination, you know, they raise the stake up to another level. And in Kansas City, I think everybody expect that now. I mean, they've gotten so comfortable, whereas, you know, they feel like it's an on thing that is supposed to be done, you know. So anytime they get the ball to Patrick, they feel like, you know, they're good for a score. But then the defense, on the other hand, they stepped up to where they've been winning the turnover ratio. And, you know, and they've been getting off the field and giving it back to them. So it's all working out right now. But this, you know, they still got to seize this moment this week. And I'm sure they'll be up for the task.
You know, I've got to ask you because, I mean, you were a monster on the field. And quarterbacks probably had fear in their eyes when they look across the line and see you. Was there one guy that you just like to give a little extra to?
Well, you know, yeah, that's like every week somebody wants to give it to me like that too. Every week somebody wants to give me that extra little but you know, I've said in the past, you know, when the late Derek Thomas and myself was playing, we had one guy that we just loved to sack, and that was John Elway. I mean, man, and the more you sack him, the more he got up and he smiled in your face and he's going to beat you at the end. And we just couldn't find the remedy to look what is in this guy, what is in his DNA. But he was so competitive and we saw him twice a year, and then 1 year we saw him 3 times. So he just was a hard specimen in fact, and he took us to another level. So it happens. I think guys that have their teams they want to play against. You know, now that you're in Vegas, I used to love to play against the Oakland Raiders, now the Vegas Raiders. So we always had fun with them because when it was in Oakland, they have the most beautiful fans in the world. It was totally opposite because those guys, I mean, in Oakland, they was rude. It's one of the worst places ever to play in. And I don't understand why they move out of Oakland to come here, but
yeah, I got you. Neil Smith, 2-time Super Bowl champion, joining us here on the Blitz. We're in Cowboys country down in San Antonio. And this year, the Cowboys struggled stopping the run. When you watch the Cowboys and you see what they were doing defensively, especially how it kind of petered off in December and they got destroyed by Green Bay in the playoff game. What were they doing defensively from your perspective wrong?
Well, you know, I think once they start moving Michael Parsons around and they was identifying him early in the season, you look, people couldn't find him. He was moving around so much where you want to get him in space and get him with the one-on-ones. And it seemed like he was getting tired at the end. I don't understand what team was just, you know, was working him more. They was bringing guys in motion, chipping on him, you know, where he can get one-on-one. And then at the end, I just think he probably kind of ran out of gas a little bit. And what hurt him more than anything, that they could never stop the run hardly out. And it comes with those guys in the middle. The 2 guys in the middle, the run stoppers and the linebacker have to be on one accord. And I think that the Cowboys, you know, they failed in that situation because they didn't have the edge rushers. The edge was good, but they never had that middle stopper, you know, that dominant guy that can stop the run, and it hurt him in the long run.
Yeah, when you look at Micah Parsons, Neil, and I mean, he's not the biggest guy in the world. He's fast, he's quick, and he's always moving. But do you think that's a problem for him late in games when you got big linemen blocking him and then somebody always chipping him? Does that take an effect in your mind?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, you got to condition yourself to work the long haul. You know, you can burn yourself in the beginning of the season, but, you know, these guys, they don't hit anymore hardly throughout the years. And the only way you get yourself condition-wise, you know, back in the days when we used to put pads on and actually, you know, develop the body to where you could condition yourself for the long haul. So I just think the Dallas Cowboys looked that flat. I just couldn't believe, you know, in that last game how flat they came out defensively and wasn't ready to play.
It's insane, right? And it wasn't just one side of the ball or one guy. It was an entire team that came out flat. You talk about the 2 guys in the middle because the run stopping was pathetic, right? And it was an issue going into the season. We knew that was a weakness they had in the offseason. They said they addressed it in the draft by getting Mozzie Smith, who did not have a great rookie year. Then, halfway through the year, you hear like Dan Quinn, then the defensive coordinator, say it takes a while to learn. How long should it take a first-round pick to figure out how to play at the NFL level?
It all depends on what position they play. You know what?
Big old nose guys, run stopper.
Well, the run stoppers, I put it as a defensive whole. If you look at it, I think it takes you 3 to 4 years to really active to where your surrounding is and how the game and how tempo the game is, and your learning curve. It's very often you see guys that come straight out of college and get to the D line and be that dominant guy, unless they're a skill guy. If you can get an edge rusher, yes, because he rushes past all the time. But to learn the defense and because everybody in the National Football League is good, they're there for a reason. And they're there to play, and they're there that. So my saying is that it takes a learning curve about 3 years, and you got to give him an opportunity.
Are there some, and you say give him an opportunity, intricacies that he's got to learn? Because a lot of people, and I'll raise my hand here, going, did the Cowboys miss on this guy as a first-round pick? Because first-round guys should be immediate impact. Or 2 or 3 years, we might look back and say the Cowboys got it right.
Yeah, I mean, you have guys like that on your field, and sometimes you make that mistake, and sometimes they try to hide it, where they won't say that we lost a guy that we thought who he was and he wasn't. So mistakes happen. You could miss or you can hit on somebody later or early in but when you go out to look for guys, you got to go out and look for guys that can fill your standards, how your defense is, what he can do with the next guy, the next son. And out there, Dallas has always been good at that, but they always never got that one pick, in the draft. They've always got guys that was at the end of their careers, to come in and put those positions together.
What do you think about the game today? When you played, I mean, it was a physical game. Still is to some extent, but not like it was when you played. Do you like this brand of football that they're playing in the NFL now?
I wish I was playing in it. That's all I say. I mean, hell yeah, I like it. Most of my sacks, all 105 of them came on probably third downs, and now they're throwing the ball on first downs. Every down they're throwing the balls, and the quarterbacks are never under the center. So it's like, when you see those guys, it's like, man, it's like they got trick plays, 1 yard passes. I don't get it. But you know what would really trick me? You put yourself like me into those positions. Can I adjust to this style of play? Absolutely. But what I don't see is guys putting their hands up. You can get off the field at any time. On third down, you don't have to get that sack. You can put your hands on the ball and tip it, and it's in our hands, or tip it and knock it down. Then you're off the field. So, to me, I had more fun knocking balls down, on third downs and getting off the field than I have sacks, and they don't do it anymore.
Well, but pass deflected, people don't get as excited about that. They don't say, man, Neil Smith joining us, he had 14 passes deflected. No, it's 105 sacks.
Yeah, but I understand, but if you put it in, if they would really count, I probably had more knockdowns than I had sacks.
Interesting.
That is crazy.
Wow.
Because, there's some people, that guy, he didn't do anything all day. He didn't even get a sack.
But he didn't raise his hands up either.
That's right.
So there you go.
Yeah, but
as long as you win,
I got more ammunition.
But he'll tell you how many holding calls he did not get. We're back to Micah Parsons, right?
You know what to do? I mean, there's holding it on every play. Can they actually call it? They're supposed to call it at the point of attack. If he's somewhere around the ball and he's being held, it should be called. But referees don't see it that way. If the players are going away, well, you can hold them on the backside. They will never call that. They will never.
I bet you got held every play.
Every play is holding on every play.
You're getting held right now.
Exactly.
I mean, it just comes with the territory. And nobody's holding you back from a barbecue tray. You're from Kansas City, or you're in Kansas City now.
Sure.
We've talked about this some before, because I'm a fan of Joe's. The burn ends at Joe's are that's the best. What do you do for Super Bowl Sunday? What's your barbecue?
Well, the last few Super Bowls, ever since I met my sis, I've been with him. So,
yeah.
If I was back home, of course, you have to have the wings. Of course, you got to have some kind of chips and dips, and a Crown and Coke would help.
Yeah.
Or a beer or two.
Yeah,
everything they announce on television is what you really want to do, and having a good party. But it's looking at the commercials. I think the commercials commercials are so funny. I mean, they're so expensive, but yet, what one do you really like? And then you get the chance to rate them. So everybody get quiet when the commercials come on and see who they like, and did they get the message? Some of them are hard to get, and some come easy. So, you have your favorites of that. And then, the halftime show itself, everybody don't want to move and want to see the halftime show because it's what everybody's been waiting on.
No doubt about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Neil Smith joining us here on the Blitz. You're with Mike Sisk, a guy we've known for a long time, and he's got a new company called MBO, Mind Body Optimization. And you are coming to San Antonio, Mike. Talk a little bit about.
Yeah, absolutely. So, this mental health thing is obviously it's top of mind. You hear it every day in the news. And so we're just bringing a new concept. I've got therapy, I've got psychiatry, and we're making it a one-stop shop. So we're making it much easier and access for people. So I was down in San Antonio, I was up north, went out, looked at a couple of locations. Hopefully we'll be there by the end of the summer.
Now, do you see that? I mean, there always seemed to be a stigma, right, between mental health. And now it seems like it's more of a, hey, if you need help, get help.
It's amazing how many people I talk to that go to the counselors, they have psychiatrists, they have issues, but they don't talk about it. And so, our tagline is, it's okay not to be okay.
It's okay.
And so go get help. I mean, that's what it's for. And there's nothing wrong with it. I thought the same thing when we did Low T Center, right? People are like, oh my God, that makes me less of a man. Yeah. And now you look, everybody talks about it. It's going to be the same thing with mental health.
Nice.
You're obviously on Radio Row talking to thousands and thousands of guys. How difficult is it to find a guy that will ask for help?
It's very difficult. It's much more difficult than the low T side of it. But everybody has a story. There's not one person that I've talked to that doesn't know somebody or somebody in their family that is struggling with a mental health issue. But a lot of people just don't know where to start. And so that's really why we started the company and if nothing else, I'm going to give somebody a starting point.
And you will be in San Antonio.
Absolutely. Be there this summer.
This summer.
Yes,
you're going to have locations. mindbodyo.com is the website.
Yes, sir.
Good stuff. Neil Smith, Mike Sisk. Appreciate you boys stopping by.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate
it. Neil Smith. Mike Sisk here on Radio Row as we continue our coverage here. Coming up, Bruce Smith, the Hall of Famer, is going to be here in about 15 minutes from right now at 4:05. I'm adjusting times, 2:05, 4:05. Yeah.
Well, it's 4:05, right? People that are listening mostly. Yeah. Okay. So
I'm just keeping myself straight at this point.
Bruce Smith, that's going to be fun.
It's going to be, they're all fun.
Well, it's been a lot of fun. We still got a lot of folks to go, but man, it's just hopping. I love this. The adrenaline's going.
The adrenaline is going. The different people that you're seeing walking around Radio Row. It's a Thursday. All the different types. People that we've known for a while, other people that we don't know. Find it interesting that the buzz, and it's interesting in some ways because there's not as many people talking about the game this week, and I'm curious because so many people are looking at this game more as a pick'em. Kansas City has been here so much. San Francisco has been good for so long, even though they haven't won a trophy in a longer period of time than the Dallas Cowboys. But they've been good the last number of years. But it's funny that there's more talk about other stuff besides the game here. I find that a little odd.
Well, I don't know what you say about the game. You got two, obviously the best quarterback in the league right now against the San Francisco team that's got offensive weapons all over the place. I just hope it's going to be a good game, and I have no reason to believe that it won't be. I think this is one of those games that's going to come right down to the wire, and who makes the plays and who doesn't. This game to me is one of those. I mean, even more so than last year, because I didn't expect last year's game to turn out the way it did, the big shootout and the Chiefs winning in there at the end. But this one just has, for me, I could flip a coin and be very happy with whoever I take.
Well, the line's down to what, 1?
1, yes.
And, it really is a pick 'em, although I'd be surprised if Vegas made it a pick 'em. And where it started, and look, on paper, I think you would have to lean San Francisco. San Francisco is the better overall team. They've got great players on defense. They've got a great defense. All their skill position players are certainly there. If you were going to go matchup position by position, obviously quarterback, you're going to go Kansas City.
Right.
That's not a knock on Brock Purdy. It would be Kansas City regardless of who was in the game. But every other position on offense, I think you're going to go San Francisco. Better running back, better receivers, offensive line. Defensively, a little bit more even. Coach, I mean,
pretty good matchup. I mean, Andy Reid's got to have just because he's Andy Reid.
Well,
right?
he's Andy Reid, and he has rings, where Shanahan has been on a staff that has blown a big lead in a Super Bowl and, has lost a Super Bowl. And at some point you wonder, with San Francisco, they've been so close. They've been knocking on that door. Can they finally punch it open? Well, I mean, in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, we're going to talk to a guy that went to 4 Super Bowls and lost them all. I mean, just because you've been knocking on the door doesn't mean they're going to let you in.
You're going to bring that up, huh?
No, he's a large man. No.
Yeah. Wow. That's going to be fun to talk to him. This game is intriguing because somebody's going to make a mistake that's going to turn it. And I think that's going to be the key to it. And look, if you told me I had to pick somebody right now, I'm taking San Francisco. And that goes against my better judgment because I've got a rule that I don't go against Patrick Mahomes.
Well, I mean, but you do have a rule that you pick opposite of Jason Minix.
So you're Kansas City.
Well, I hate San Francisco.
Well, I know, but take your emotion out
I don't know that I can't. But no, honestly, I'm not going to bet against Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you and I, without discussing it, apparently have the same rule. I am not picking against Patrick Mahomes again. I broke that rule against Baltimore because I really thought Baltimore was going to be here in the Super Bowl. I thought the Ravens were the best team in the AFC, and I've been saying that since mid-October. And for
may be.
And for them to bleep the bed the way they did surprised me. So, I mean, Patrick Mahomes, who had to go to Buffalo, win there. Went to Baltimore, won there. I'm not betting against that guy, and I would throw up in my mouth if I had to pick San Francisco.
Yeah, you would.
But honestly, I just they're that even. Like if it were like, man, San Francisco is going to win this thing, I've got no choice but to pick them. I would, but here, kind of a pick 'em. I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes.
Cowboy fans could have a very bad day on Sunday, couldn't they?
No.
Really could. They could have a really bad day. If San Francisco wins this thing, more rings. They've won. You can't hold that over them again. It's been that longer than the Cowboys.
I love sometimes when the ass shows for you because Cowboy fans aren't going to give a damn
or
have
they are.
A bad day if San Francisco wins because they have more rings.
Yes.
No. Cowboy fans are going to have a great day. They're going to have plenty of beer, plenty of barbecue, and we've got next year, right? I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, Cowboy fans, probably the worst day, and it's got to feel like Raider fans here seeing the Chiefs logo painted on their field, is when Jerry hosted the Super Bowl and you had Green Bay and Pittsburgh. You had two teams with yellow pants battling at Jerry's house, two teams that Cowboy fans hate. That was a bad Sunday.
It's going to be a bad Sunday if San Francisco wins. I've already heard from Cowboy fans. It's like, no way.
Who?
Well, I don't know.
You Ray at the gym? You haven't seen him in a week.
He's not a Cowboy fan. He's a Buffalo fan.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Guy's a Buffalo Bills fan. I've heard him.
You just always like to troll, man.
No, I don't.
Always like to troll.
It's going to be a bad day for Cowboys because
any Super Bowl that doesn't include the Cowboys is a bad Sunday. Is that what you're saying?
That's true. But then if San Francisco wins, that's kind of like rubbing salt in the wound.
Not really.
Sure it is.
I mean, only if you're trying to cut somebody and make them hurt.
It's gonna
that's
hurt.
what you do, troll Ryan Engel.
It's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Gonna hurt.
Yeah, not really. We're not going to give a damn.
We'll see.
Good
on
Lord.
Monday.
Bruce Smith coming up here on Radio Row as we continue live from Las Vegas. And you think about the one remaining game in the NFL season. You want to add some more excitement to that game, make it a great Sunday for you. Make sure you go to UnderdogFantasy.com and start playing their Pick'em game or download their easy-to-use mobile app. I love playing the Pick'em game, whether it's for football, basketball. Pick between 2 and 5 players to build your Pick'em entry, and all you have to do is select whether they are going to be higher or lower on player stats. If all your picks hit, you could win up to 100 times your money in one single night. It is a fantasy game that is legal in Texas and certainly adds a lot of excitement to watching games. So get in the game now by downloading the Underdog Fantasy app or going to the website UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Then you're going to be set for the big game on Sunday. Plus, they will give you a special pick of higher than a half total yard to use in your first Pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or go to ncpgambling.org. Promo code STAR at UnderdogFantasy.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
At Edwin Watts Golf Shops, there's something that binds us all. The collective goal to transcend the ordinary. Introducing the all-new TaylorMade QI10 Max Driver, combining TaylorMade distance with the forgiveness of 10K inertia. Experience your drives in 10K. Visit us in-store for a free custom fitting at your local Edwin Watts Golf Shops or shop us online at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
Progressive presents an ad from Mom.
Hello? Is it on? Oh, okay. Bundle your home and auto insurance with Progressive and get protection round the clock. Round the clock? Does this generation even understand what round the clock means? But don't go, I'm just saying, because don't come to me when they ask to do this over, because the kids won't get it.
Get round-the-clock protection when you bundle and save with Progressive. It's easier than getting your mom to make this radio ad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin, ultra soft on the potty. Let's just also roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The grip is always stopped. It's our party vibe. It's things full of chicks feel fine. So everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high temperature performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through March 4th, get 5 quarts of Castrol Edge or Edge High Mileage Full Synthetic and an oil filter for $36.99. Only at AutoZone.
Claim based on Sequence 3H test versus API SP test limits.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the San Antonio Spurs were active before the trade deadline ended earlier this afternoon. They made a trade with the Indiana Pacers. Pacers are sending Marcus Morris, a second-round pick, and cash to the Spurs for Doug McDermott. Spurs back in action tonight after the loss in Miami to the Heat. They'll take on the Orlando Magic tonight as the rodeo road trip continues. Tip-off in Orlando set for 6 o'clock.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. In Las Vegas, our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Road coverage continues. Brought to you by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Synergenics. Their website, fixmylowt.com. We got a great 4 o'clock hour for you. Jamal Lewis will be by around 4:15. We'll talk with Rolando Cantu at 4:30. Warren Sapp at 5:15. And at any minute now, Bruce Smith is going to be sitting down with us live here in Las Vegas on Radio Row. And there was a groundswell a moment ago. I mean, I don't know. Swampy, how long have we known you? Year and a half? We saw Tim Spence, the most excited we've ever seen him, move as fast as he's ever moved. When Wayne Newton walked in the building, he jumped out of his chair so fast it fell over. Yeah. And he went over. And then we had to call him back. We expect Wayne Newton to join us at any point. And now we're hoping. Well, so wait. We're from confirmed to now we're hoping. From confirmed to hoping.
R.J. Ochoa is heartbroken if that doesn't happen.
R.J. Ochoa looked at him and said, "Who's that?"
Yeah.
Wayne Newton has just walked by. The aloof Rob Thompson had no idea.
Wow. Yeah, you kind of turn your head quite a bit.
We all said, "Look, there's Wayne Newton," and RJ's like, literally, "I have no idea who that is," and you never looked up from your phone. And Tim Spence sprinted. I didn't know Tim Spence had a sprint. I just realized Tim Spence, if he sees Wayne Newton, would beat me in a race because my sprint is barely faster than my walk. But honestly, that was fast. That was interesting.
Yeah, dude, if you're looking at turtles, that was fast. I mean, even if Spency over here wanted to move fast, he couldn't. You kidding me? Have you seen this guy? Man, I thought I had bad knees. This poor guy kind of waddles down the stairs, and I mean, it's tough. So that was fast for Spence, but
it was fast for Spence. I mean, I didn't say he was Carl Lewis all of a sudden.
A turtle would have killed him. Beat him by, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes.
I mean, honestly, he would have beat me in a race there.
Well,
I mean, in all fairness,
that's not saying much.
Now, granted, I don't know how fast I would have run towards Wayne Newton, but then again, I'm not a 60-year-old woman. He lost a bra somewhere along the way. Do they do that for Wayne Newton? Do old women throw bras at him?
I'm sure they do. The older, it's got to be 70 and up. Wow.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, all of it's interesting. So
it is interesting. So Wayne Newton is in the building.
He is.
We're now to hoping that he makes the show.
Well, we'll see. I mean, how could he not come over here and talk with us?
We had Carrot Top yesterday.
We did.
And
we were both a little afraid of Carrot Top. And really, I just wanted to talk about the crazy woman on the plane. And he turned out to be fantastic.
He was good.
He was great.
Good. Yeah.
Now, we posted a photo on social media with where you could answer a question on Instagram about what do you think Joe was asking Carrot Top? Because they were having a moment off to the side, just them two. And some of the responses are rather entertaining.
I'm sure they are.
Of
course.
They are rather entertaining. Because I think I put on there, what is Joe asking Carrot Top? And one of the answers is, and you're actually picking up chicks.
I'm picking up chicks?
No, Carrot Top.
Oh.
Dressed like that. It isn't really written that way by Andy, but that's the cleanest way I could say that on the radio. Is that hair real? Were those pants really $1,000? Are you sure you can drive home? And does the carpet match the drapes? If you are asking that of Carrot Top.
No, I really don't care what his carpet color is, honestly. With that, that was not the question. I was just, I seriously, and maybe half-heartedly, although we don't have time, but it's like, hey, you guys swing by, we'll leave you some tickets at the box office. Because I just asked him, I said, dude, when's your next show? Well, I perform every night.
Every night. And then somebody sent us a link. That dude makes $8 million a year from the Luxor.
I know, and that's just there.
Yeah, that doesn't include like royalties from all the movies that he's been in and the other stuff that he's done. $8 million a year from Luxor. And we're like, well, who goes and sees him? I've never seen his act. And then April and Sierra, every time they're in Vegas, they go see Carrot Top. Boy, we've got a rather.
It's just it's
the beauty of Radio Row. They're on their way, and then they see a friend, and then they stop.
Say we talked about this, and that's what happens because it is. It's like an NFL reunion here on Radio Row, where all the NFL guys see each other for the first time in who knows how long, and they come up and talk.
A lot of times, it's every year is where live here. Joined by not only a college Hall of Famer, a pro football Hall of Famer, the legend himself, Bruce Smith, joining us here live on Radio Row. He's Joe, I'm Jason. You're live in San Antonio.
And Jason.
Yeah, that's easy to remember, right? I know you're here with M&M's. It's J&J.
Yep.
Yeah, it works that way. Although he's the nutty one. Yeah, exactly, man.
Dude, I love the sweats there. That's nice.
Man, M&M's has nice perks.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So
very nice.
Yeah, man. I had to throw it on and represent.
Hey, man, nothing wrong with that. And you think about doing Radio Row, and I got to admit, we were talking about this earlier. Patrick Mahomes goes into Buffalo and gets a win. I for a while I was thinking Buffalo.
That's stuff.
You want to talk about that?
No, go ahead.
I mean, how surprised are you that Buffalo isn't here in Las Vegas?
I would say I'm surprised, but I'm even more disappointed. We had this teed up exactly how we want, well, minus all the injuries, because we were a depleted team at that point in time.
Sure.
But having them in our home stadium, and had it not been for the mental errors that took place and some undisciplined plays, it would have been a different outcome. But that's what allows champions like Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Spags, Travis Kelce, that gives them their oxygen to thrive.
Yep.
Because they don't make those mistakes, particularly in ball games like that.
You know what, though, Bruce? I love the and hopefully Josh Allen can get over that hump one time. But that has the making of a great quarterback rivalry between those two guys
for a long time.
Yeah,
for a long time, and that's exciting for the league. It's going to bring a lot of thrill to fans alike, both from Kansas City and the Bills Mafia, but. It's very disappointing for the last 3 years to come up on the short end of the stick. This team is going to have some challenges over the next year. With $43 million over the salary cap. We've got injuries that have to be addressed. We lost Trey White a year ago. Von Miller, basically a year ago. Matt Milano all year long, and some other injuries. But those 3 injuries alone were so devastating that we had to put younger guys in those positions, and that's where your mental errors and your mistakes take place. So we've got some fat to trim, some calories to burn, and get under the salary cap, and get some young talent in that's going to be able to play extremely well under their rookie contract, so that we can be competitive, get into the playoffs, and hopefully capitalize off of being in that position.
Hall of Fame here on the Blitz, live in Las Vegas on Radio Row. San Antonio, we're Cowboys country. And,
don't be mad, okay?
And you can imagine the frustration, and you hear it because the Cowboys are on TV all the time.
I could care less about the Cowboys.
I know. Well, I'm not going to ask you about the Cowboys. I'm not going there because I'm not stupid, and you're a large man. But all the talk about Dak Prescott, is he the guy?
Yeah.
And this year there was a lot of talk, not to the level that Dak gets, but about Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Is he the guy? Is he the guy that can take Buffalo and win a Super Bowl?
I believe he is. I truly, and I gave you some great examples of what took place this past season. Now, are there some areas that Josh can improve? 100%. We have to take care of the football better. We have to continue as a defense in creating turnovers so we can give him more opportunities. But we can't have plays in which guys are dropping balls in the playoffs and you could have moonwalked in for a touchdown. We can't have situations where you've got receivers that are open that unfortunately, because of the rush or what have you, that they're not seen. So there's some things that we have to do to clean up and get better, but we have to get Josh help, and he has to have help on a consistent basis. This is, you can't have a great game 1 week and then 2 or 3 weeks goes by and you're having a mediocre game. This body of work that has to take place, it begins in the film study room, in the weight room, during the off season, knowing your responsibilities as a player. And I think once we get those disciplined players that understand the significance of each and every play, because when you get into the playoffs, it always comes down to 2 or 3 plays, whether or not you win or lose a football game. And that's exactly what happened to us against the Chiefs. Now, I am not taking anything away from this greatness that the Kansas City Chiefs are embarking on. When you've got a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, you've got probably the greatest tight end that's played the game. And you've got Andy Reid and this football defensive genius in Spagnuolo. And you've got Chris Jones. Man, let me tell you something. That's awfully hard to beat.
You know, Bruce, it's and you're the perfect guy to ask because you played against some great players and you've seen a bunch of great players in this league. But when you watch a guy like Patrick Mahomes, I mean, to me, I watch him and just from as an outsider looking in. So I'm curious as to what you think. You just see greatness, and there's just, I mean, at a level that's continuing to rise. Is that what you see?
Yeah, that's what I see. And he's an opportunist. When that defense makes mistakes, he makes you pay for it. If you've got two guys rushing to the outside, and I've got some of these plays on my phone, that's how much I'm still consumed with football. You got two guys rushing on the outside, and you don't have anybody on the inside, and Patrick Mahomes sees these two rushers and knows they're supposed to be evenly distributed with gap discipline, and he slides in and buys more time and allows his receivers to get open. That's the genius of Patrick Mahomes. He's an incredible talent, and I enjoy watching him play. But the way you take a dominant quarterback like that out of the game is with your front four. You got to beat him up. You got to hit him often. You got to let him know that you're going to be around him, making him throw under duress. And unfortunately, able to do that consistently. I will give the Chiefs credit. Their two tackles who struggled during the first part of the year, they got better. So kudos to them for making that adjustment and for those tackles getting better. But I truly believe that they're going to be put to the test with these pass rushers that the 49ers have.
It's going to be interesting coming up on a Sunday as we visit with the legend, Hall of Famer Bruce Smith. You got the M&M sweatsuits. You got M&Ms in front of you.
Yes,
That's not bad to work a little bit of Radio Row magic with M&Ms, right?
Not at all.
You got candy. You become very popular.
Very popular. I've been giving these peanut butter M&Ms out all day. I've been eating them all day too. But yeah, man, it's been a fun ride with the crew and the cast that Dan Marino, Scarlett, and Tio, and it was about time that Dan and I teamed up to do something that's special, and it's going to be airing obviously on Super Bowl day. So I'm pretty excited about it.
So the rings, right?
The rings, the just the humor and the entertainment of it, and look, you got M&Ms, man.
You got M&Ms.
Yeah,
Your goals.
Yeah.
The commercial on Super Bowl Sunday. It's going to be a lot of fun. Bruce, appreciate you stopping by and spending some time with us, man.
Yes,
this has been a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. The legend, Bruce Smith, joining us here live on Radio Row. We'll have more coming up here live from Las Vegas.
Yep. First of all, I want to tell you about Parkhurst New Vision. Been talking about them for some time now. Had lens replacement surgery over the summer, and my eyesight has never been better. I see Rob Thompson with his readers laying all over the table here, and I don't need them anymore. I don't have to have them. Don't have to drag those things around. That's how good Parkhurst New Vision is. In fact, my results were so good. My wife, Maggie, went and got her eyes done, and she is just thrilled with the results as well. And look, we're not the only ones. You can do the same thing. All you have to do is call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020. You can also check them out online at sanantoniolasik.com. Call them at 210-585-2020. You set up your consultation. Tell them Joe Reinigle from the Blitz sent you, and then ask all your questions, any concerns that you have, and they'll answer them all and make you feel good about what you're about to do. Let them do for your family what they've done for mine. Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020.
The Sports Star Boys are in Vegas for the big game.
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Robin, RJ, and Jason and Joe are in Sin City and Radio Row for the big game, with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Woo! Think you gonna get away with it? Not up in here.
Not up in here.
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergen X, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
If you're looking to get a new car, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Sure, you love your old car, but you know it's not normal to give instructions on how to open the window. It should be self-explanatory, but it's not. And notice how when you're in other people's cars, you can feel cushion in the seats? That's pretty nice, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new car. It's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Anjali.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just got an alert for a strange charge on my card.
No problem. We make sure you're never held responsible for unauthorized purchases on your Discover card. Let's see. Did you purchase something from a t-shirt cannon store yesterday?
Absolutely not. No, I already have like 3.
$0 fraud liability guarantee. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/credit card. Limitations apply.
Okay, 3 more climbers, 7 loggers.
Ted's sustainably sourced logging company is growing a new branch.
What about truck driver contracts?
Which means a new HR manager will be the first hire to fall.
Then we'll need to staff up the warehouse.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Okay, if you love playing fantasy sports like I do, take it to the next level with Prize Picks. It's the #1 daily fantasy sports app. This is Rob Thompson, and right now, with the big game around the corner, NBA in full swing, there's no better way to get into the action than with Prize Picks. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections on a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's that easy. You can turn $10 into $250 just like that in 2 taps. I love the easy gameplay, the quick withdrawals, and huge selection of players, the stat options, and more. And check this out. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy platform with injury protection insurance. It'll keep you in the game even if one of your players isn't. It's great. Over 7 million sports fans have already signed up, and I'm one of them. So join me and watch your favorite players and get paid doing it right now. Just download the Prize Pick app and use the code ALAMO. That's ALAMO on Prize Picks for your first deposit. And they'll match up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind. They're at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo. Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
It's continuing live coverage from Las Vegas of Super Bowl 58 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage continues. Brought to you by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Now joined by Miguel Gerwitz and Rolando Cantu, somebody we've talked to before. You're a big national TV guy now, but you're from the Valley.
Exactly. No, I'm excited, man. Yes, my roots are big in South Texas. My family resides, most of my brothers and sisters reside in South Texas. So, it's my home as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and of course, we share that. I'm from a small town in South Texas, and so I feel like we're brothers here.
Yeah, Joe.
Twins.
We do look alike.
We do, yeah.
A little bit, right?
Yeah, I think so.
For sure. It's a special place, man. Once you hit San Antonio, a lot of people think, San Antonio, South Texas. No, there's still a 3.5-hour drive to the Rio Grande River, right? And McAllen, Texas, and Alice, and Benavides, and all those small towns. They have certain character that people from down there are just they're nice people, man. They're loving people, and I love going every off season and visiting my family. And I was just there in San Ignacio, Zapata, Texas, with a couple of friends. Robert Garza, who's 14-year NFL offensive lineman, veteran for the Bears, and we had a good time. And it's always good times in South Texas.
Always good times. And I know you played for the Cardinals, and you decided to stay in the Phoenix area. My daughter goes to Arizona State, and the one thing she complains about most, the one thing she misses most from home, no breakfast tacos.
Oh yeah,
in the Phoenix area.
It's different. You have your Sonora-based flour tortilla, which is totally different from your Texas tortilla, and of course, it's more of your Pacific Mexican cuisine for breakfast rather than your South Texas Tex-Mex food that's delicious down there.
Oh, it's delicious. Yeah, there's no question about it. Well, Rolando, I've got to ask you, going from a football player to a play-by-play guy, how did that happen?
Well, Joe, I don't do the play-by-play. I do the color.
Okay.
Miguel is our play-by-play, but for the most part, in our breaks where he's got to go to the restroom, I kind of think, here's my shot, man. If he doesn't make it back, maybe I'll get to call one game.
So, Rolando, what you're telling me is you've got a broadcast partner that has a pea-sized bladder? Because I've got one of those too.
In this industry, it happens, right, Miguel?
Of course.
It happens. But now for me, being paired up with Miguel Gurwitz, who's a long time leader in the communication industry. This is year 2 for us. We call TNF, Thursday Night Football for Prime Video. And then we also call Sunday Night Football. So for us, Joe, it's every single day. It's a constant communication. It's our prep, research. I watch film. He watches film. And it's just something that we do together. And we've been able to kind of, grow together on the air.
We think about the National Football League becoming more international, and they've had games in London that we know they're going to Brazil. Do you get that trip?
Yeah. We don't know yet.
We don't know yet. Yeah.
Well, you're lobbying the boss for that trip, right?
We're crossing that finger.
Yeah. So for your broadcast in the reception you get for it, does it do a ratings number comparable? I mean, as you're seeing the growth from an international basis?
Of course. Yeah, we're seeing, like, this year we had like maybe 20% up in Sunday Night Football. The sport is growing. The Hispanic audience is growing as well. We had the Super Bowl, 2 years ago?
Yes.
And it was like almost 2 million for the rating. So the sport is growing in the Hispanic market, and we're trying to grow with the company as well.
Well, and I think what's interesting is the fact that you guys do this, and you bring it to an audience that may not be able to hear it or understand what's going on, and that opens up more doors, does it not?
Yeah, well, the Hispanic fan base is huge. You have a lot of maybe in Mexico, the biggest is Dallas Cowboys.
Of course.
Then,
of course.
Steelers.
Yeah.
Raiders. Then the Patriots. They went up. Now they're going down.
Of course.
Yeah. More ways than one.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's something that we've been in the business for a while, and we see how the media outlets, us being an option on the Spanish broadcast, and just having that, there maybe our generation I consume it in English, Miguel consume it in English, but we also consume it in Spanish. And sometimes you have that family environment where your grandma, your tío, your uncle, or your tía does not really talk or is fluent in English, and you turn on Telemundo, you turn on TNF on TNF or Sunday Night Football, and you get to experience that together. And I think that's where we connect families, and that's where we connect directly with our audience.
On your broadcast, because, I mean, such a big deal to get to do the Super Bowl broadcast. I mean, to be selected as the Super Bowl broadcasters and be that team it's like getting to the Super Bowl in our world. But like with what you just said, both of you consume football in English or Spanish. Like in our radio group, we've got a Tejano station that the music is Spanish, but the DJ talk could be a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Are you 100% Spanish on your broadcast, or
Yes.
is it? Yeah. So
it's 100%.
Yeah, all the terminology has been translated and adapted to the American football in Spanish kind of way of saying things.
Well, that's why I'm curious. What is the most difficult part? Like, well, you say it this way in English, but in Spanish you have to do this, and it makes it a little bit more difficult. And I know that falls on the play-by-play guy, Miguel.
Yeah, we can use a lot of English terminology, but like shotgun, it's formación escopeta. Everything is longer.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
What else? Hail Mary.
Ave Maria.
Ave Maria. You need to adapt. And our mission is, like, we grew up listening to the English broadcast. Our mission is to get those Hispanics to our broadcast because they love the English broadcast. Right. Our mission is to get those on the Spanish language.
So there's a lot of like if you turn on an English broadcast, which is really entertaining, which is a traditional way of consuming NFL football, it is awesome, right? Because we love it as well. But then you turn on our channel and there's a lot more flair. There's a lot more, we do sprinkle in a word here, maybe on a touchdown celebration. I know Miguel has gone, viral on certain touchdown calls where he sprinkles in English, and we go from there, man. We just feed off each other. Nothing is planned. Nothing. You can't really push this too much. It just whatever comes out, it comes out.
That's what happens. And you look at it, guys. I mean, in San Antonio, obviously, huge market for you. For those of the fans that don't want to hear Tony Romo, Rolando will take care of you there. And a little bit more colorful, as he just said. Miguel Gerwitz, Rolando Cantu on the Spanish broadcast for Super Bowl LVIII on Sunday. Boys, thanks for stopping by here. This has been a lot of fun.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
Gracias.
Appreciate it. We are told Wayne Newton is nearby.
Well, you guys can stick around if you want.
Okay.
Wayne Newton. Do you know who Wayne Newton is?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
One on our crew had no idea.
Really? Who was that?
Yeah, RJ Ochoa, kid from the Valley. He lives in Westlaco.
No wonder he's
from the Valley. Right? That's exactly what it is. Guys, good luck on the call on
Thank
Sunday.
you.
Appreciate it. More coming up, including Wayne Newton, we hope. We're told he's on his way. Wayne Newton, who's got a great smile. If you need a great smile, you need to go see my dentist over at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Dr. Smith will get you taken care of. Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces is a general and family dental practice, from cleaning and whitening to crowns, fillings, dental implants, wisdom teeth extraction. They can handle every aspect of your dentistry needs. And right now, you can get a free exam and x-ray when you mention 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Medicaid and all PPO insurance is accepted. And they offer a dental savings plan if you don't have dental insurance. Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces is veteran-owned and operated, and they offer discounts to uninsured veterans. 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, we sum up what has been a phenomenal media week. We have for you a host of guests. Who do we have on the docket? RJ Ochoa,
Lee Steinberg, Kellen Winslow, Matt Ryan, Kayvon Thibodeau, Tony Khan, and maybe a surprise or two. But don't forget, we have to pick this thing. Somebody's going to get a trophy on Sunday night, and we're going to tell you who, and we're going to tell you why. We start at 6, but that's 4 for me and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Now is the best time to buy a Connecticut water softener. With current models being closed out to make way for the new ones, you can save big. Call Connecticut at 656-PURE and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you. That's 656-PURE.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop! Swiffer Power Mop!
The venue's set. Families coming in from all over. It's our quinceañera. With all the excitement, it may be easy to overlook COVID-19. It's still a risk, and that's why it's muy importante to get this season's COVID-19 shot ahead of time. It helps protect against COVID-19, which can cause severe illness and hospitalization. So let's set the date, vaccinate, and celebrate. Learn about a vaccine option and book this season's updated COVID-19 shot today at schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open. With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Roo Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Listen to this station anytime. Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe, live from Radio Row for Super Bowl LVIII in Las Vegas.
It is The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage from Las Vegas continues, brought to you by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Wayne Newton, Mr. Las Vegas, we're told, will be here any moment.
I know he's in the building.
We know he's in the building.
He had quite the following when he arrived in the building.
What do you, I mean, he had a following and security, right? Now, finding out after we talked to Carrot Top, who looked homeless, that he makes $8 million a year from Luxor. What do you figure Wayne Newton is worth?
Dude, that guy probably has more money than he knows what to do with, just because he's been around so long and been Mr. Vegas for so long. But, yeah, does he still perform somewhere?
Yeah.
He does?
I mean, you were about to interview him. You would think we would know that.
Well, you would think so.
Well, yes.
Do you know that?
No. No.
Okay. Well, you know, there's this thing called Google that you can kind of look things up on. I think I'll do that.
Yeah, well, that's what you have to do. So in the meantime, while we wait for Wayne Newton, who we're told is on his way.
Yes.
I don't see him.
Well,
I don't know where he is now. And I say that because coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, we can't get too far off schedule. We've got Warren Sapp and Steve Largent on the way. Plus, we are giving away a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market for grilling with the Blitz. So, and make sure you stay tuned for that, because I don't know I haven't even looked to see what the contestants are for this week, but this weekend is one of the big grilling Sundays. So, extra $50 at Tri-County Meat Market is going to go a long way this weekend for your Super Bowl party. So it should be a lot of fun. And that's the cool thing about the Super Bowl in Las Vegas, which it still baffles me a little bit that we're actually in Las Vegas for a Super Bowl. Now, for us on Radio Row, one convention center looks like just the other one from Super Bowl City, but the amount of people in this Super Bowl city because it's Vegas and there's other conventions that are going on that for some reason scheduled the week of Super Bowl week, and just all the dudes that get together and go watch the Super Bowl in Las Vegas, those kind of trips are still happening for the most part.
Yeah. Absolutely, and they should, and I think it's great. It's just the added buzz around everything is what I find fascinating. I mean, yesterday when we walked out of here, before we started our journey looking for our car, the 2-hour journey to look for the car, there was a mass of humanity walking through the hotel. So they all started to arrive yesterday. Today's even more, and it's just going to continue that all weekend. And I think, Vegas is just such a fun place. And then you throw in a huge event like the Super Bowl. I mean, it just amplifies everything, and it's fantastic.
Well, and you look at where we are at Mandalay Bay, the fact that the NFL experience is also at Mandalay Bay, and it opened yesterday, the NFL experience. So you have the hordes of people that are in this hotel alone, because I can imagine when we leave here today, it's going to be hard to walk through the hotel. It was yesterday, and it's going to be even worse today as you continue and you look through it and you go from there, because that's what it's all about. And and it just makes it so much fun to roll through and go and see everything.
No, it really does. But, everybody's excited. You see a lot of jerseys, not just San Francisco and Kansas City. I saw Cowboys jerseys.
Well, of course.
People walking around here. Everybody, anything that you can imagine. Seattle Seahawks is another popular one around here. But so people are just happy to be here, and it's fun. And if you need an excuse to come to Vegas, come to Vegas.
Well, that's what it is. I mean, that's why Clarence Hill from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram is here.
Speaking of big stars, just walked in.
You talk about a guy that's never actually covered a Super Bowl for the team that he had. He certainly finds his way to Super Bowl City because the parties are outstanding. That's what it boils down to. All right,
we're looking around. We're seeing, and we've got some spotters that are looking around as well. So look, Wayne Newton's a popular guy. We'll get him over here.
Well, that's it. But I mean, we only have so much time in the segment. We were told 10 minutes, 17 minutes ago.
What?
So I mean,
you mean there's that clock thing we got to follow?
Well, no.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to say the heck with that clock. It's a special occasion. It's the Super Bowl.
Well, that's exactly what it is. And you look at it and you go and you sit there and you say, okay, all the interviews that we've been doing, they're all available. The YouTube videos are up there on the YouTube page. Go to our website, sasportstar.com. You've got all those videos and the interviews there, and the audio all powered by AA Best Bail Bonds from the Blitz and, of course, from the Morning Cuddle. Those shows are there as well. Some of the great interviews that they have done. So it's going to be fantastic as Wayne Newton is about 17 steps away.
I see him.
We see him. Let's see how long it will take if he gets stopped on the way over. This is actually happening.
Wow,
Wayne
this is
Newton
fantastic right here. Look at this.
Is arriving.
This is an honor.
Yes.
Hello, Mr. Newton. I'm Joe.
It's almost as if Wayne, if we could get you over here, sir. Yeah. Good seeing you, Wayne.
Great seeing you.
Absolutely. We got to shake everybody's hand.
Absolutely. That's great.
Wayne, this chair over here.
Can we get you over here?
Yep. All right. Head to the YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
The San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel, because
the legend himself,
Mr. Las Vegas, Wayne Newton, is officially on here on San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe, I'm Jason, and you are Mr. Las Vegas. How is it for you rolling through Radio Row in Las Vegas?
This is such fun because you guys are knowledgeable, you are articulate, and it's such a pleasure to have you in our town because it's long overdue.
No, I agree, right? It has been a long time. Are you a sports fan?
Yes, I am. I haven't. I'm not as much as I should be because I've worked my whole life. So most of them, even watching on television, I don't get a chance to see it unless I, film it.
Sure.
And but my wife is she's from Cleveland, and she is a big Browns fan, and so I tease her about, well, what happens when the Browns come here and play our team. You know, she says, well, I'll just wear a double garb. So if I'm in front, then I'm one team. If I'm in back, it's the other.
Well, then that's a good way to do it. 'Cause you say your team. I mean, I guess you've adopted the Raiders.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're everything Vegas, right?
Absolutely.
What? I mean, and again, it's funny you say that. Are you a sports fan? You say, well, you work. You're always working at night.
That's it.
When the game's going on. I find it interesting. People have to choose to watch a game or go watch Wayne Newton.
Well, I think that the bowl game being here is proof as to which one they go watch.
Wayne, you are still working. You're still entertaining the folks, and you obviously still enjoy it, huh?
Yes, I do. In fact, that's why I do it, because if I were to the point where my voice was gone, or I wasn't thinking properly, or I was crippled or whatever, that's different. Then I could not do what I do. But none of those things have happened, so I'm still enjoying watching people smile and forgetting their problems for a period of time.
Well, you've been doing that for a long time.
Thank you.
Mr. Las Vegas, Wayne Newton. You got so many nicknames. do you have a favorite that you prefer? I keep saying Mr. Las Vegas, but you've got like 7 others.
Well, actually, those all came about from people, writers who came in to review the show at different places, right? And when you talked about San Antonio in the introduction a little bit, I want you to know that I sold a horse to a man in San Antonio.
Is that right?
That turned out to be the Black Stallion in the movie, because they called me Arabian Stallion. Excuse me. And so I knew exactly where to go to look for him, and he was in San Antonio.
Anybody that we know?
It's a doctor that lives there, and to my knowledge, he's still practicing medicine. So
that's incredible.
So the Black Stallion in the movie lives in San Antonio.
Yes.
Learn something new every day here on the Blitz. I mean, you talk about trivia and who knows, who would have known that? That is pretty insane. That is crazy.
Now, did you get to San Antonio quite a bit during your career?
I love San Antonio, and I also do a lot of work with military. We have been in every major confrontation our country has been in since Vietnam, when we were there twice. One of the generals that I met lives in San Antonio. And so I stay in contact with him, and I've been to San Antonio a lot of times. Love it there.
Yeah, great city.
That is crazy. When you think about Las Vegas, we were at a party the other day over at the F1 track, and I'm sure you've probably been to the F1 track, right?
Yes.
In that big building on the second level, they had the party set up. It was like old school Vegas. And it was so cool, and some of the displays. You've watched Vegas change through the years.
Yes,
right?
I have.
When you're watching, is it like your kids growing, you don't realize how big they've gotten until you look at an old picture, or have you noticed it as it's going on, all the changes to this great city?
I have noticed it as it goes on, because so much of what goes on affects what I do in terms of the kind of show that the person wants. When I came to Las Vegas, you could not do a television show from Las Vegas because nobody was sponsored. So the first ones to do shows here would have been probably in the 1960s, and that would have been Merv Griffin and those kind of shows.
Yeah.
But then to see it evolve into what it's become, where they're doing motion pictures from here. People are coming here for hockey games, football games, the bowl, on and on and on. It's been incredible to watch, because the people who live here are the greatest group of people in the world.
That's all. I have to ask you really quickly before we let you go. Donka Shane, is that still the most popular?
It would be a toss-up between Donka Shane and Daddy Don't You Walk So Fast.
Okay.
Both were number one records. Donka Shane was a hit twice, my version of it, and then the one that was in the movie, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So I've been looking to thank him for a long time, and I've never had the opportunity.
Mr. Las Vegas,
Yes.
Wayne Newton, appreciate you stopping by, sir, and spending a few minutes with us. This has been an honor and a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you.
Wayne Newton. We're going to break early, Pledge, because we want a picture with Mr.
Yes.
Las Vegas. Go to a break. We'll be right back here on the Blitz.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price to have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for works and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Hey, I've got a message for you that's going to change your dental game in about 60 seconds. I want to ask you a question. Are you fed up with the same old dental routine? You know what I'm talking about. The endless trips to the dentist, dealing with missing teeth, temporary fixes that never seem to stick. Well, I've got the answer for you. It's Doctor's Implants. At Doctor's Implants, they're board-certified oral and facial surgeons. They're ready to transform your smile. Don't let old-school dentistry hold you back any longer. Embrace your future with full-mouth dental implants at Doctor's Implants. You can check them out online at doctorsimplants.com. And here's the kicker. When you call Doctor's Implants at 210-640-0000, tell them I sent you, Joe Reinagle from the Blitz. You're going to get a complimentary consultation and a CT scan. Your journey to a perfect smile begins at Doctor's Implants. Don't wait. Call them today. 210-640-0000.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com.
It's continuing live coverage from Las Vegas of Super Bowl 58 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage continues from Las Vegas. Brought to you by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. That was cool. Look, I mean, We
Dude,
jumped out of the
it doesn't
break
get
to
any
get a
cooler than
picture
that.
because he's just hopping around and going. And that was Mr. Las Vegas. We'll have Sports Center at 5 o'clock like we always do in 5 minutes. And then right after that, Jamal Lewis is going to stop by. Think about our 5 o'clock hour, Joe, what we've got coming up. We've got Jamal Lewis. We've got Warren Sapp. We've got Steve Largent. We've got What's on Tap. We're still going to let you know what's going on this weekend in San Antonio. And we're giving away that $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. So, yeah, we're doing things a little bit differently. But that was Mr. Las Vegas, Wayne Newton. And the comments on the YouTube are incredible. And the fact that he told a story about a horse, and somehow on YouTube people heard that must be where he gets his work done. Some doctor in San Antonio.
Man, well, maybe it is. Man, a little horse trading going on. You trade a horse for a nose job. I mean, I don't know. It's dude, that was really cool.
Well, and the number of people that say they are screenshotting from our YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
Which yesterday I know a couple of people did with various people that we had on. I didn't even think about that was a thing, but it certainly is. But certainly by a lot of reaction, you guys enjoyed that as much as we did because, what's one of the beauties of coming to Radio Row? You meet so many sports people, and there are some, not many, that you still get excited about, right? And when I say excited, I mean nervous. Like I get nervous around Troy Aikman. I get nervous around Roger Staubach.
Wayne Newton.
Well, I mean, Wayne Newton. I mean, here's the thing. Once in a lifetime that you're going to meet somebody like Wayne Newton.
Where he's a legendary entertainer.
Well, and there's once in a lifetime I can send a picture to my mother that she's going to be excited about somebody I met while I was at work.
Dude, I just think that was awesome. I'm happy that he came over here to talk to us and just such a nice guy. I mean, really just a nice guy, and that was a pleasure. I've never seen Rob Thompson that excited in my entire life.
Well, I mean, Rob got excited. He was playing cool. I mean, Tim Spence. I mean, like all these people here. Do you know how many people Tim Spence has taken a picture with this week?
Zero.
Until now.
Today.
I mean, we got in his handle was like, we got to go. Okay, one more picture. We got ours, Rob and RJ. And RJ Ochoa had no idea who this guy was.
This guy
is. No idea. There's damn near broke his leg trying to get over there to get a picture with him. And then Spence, grabbing him. I need one too. We've got to get one. And Spence, for the first time all week, literally has a smile on his face.
I know it.
I mean, well, and this one isn't because of Novocaine. This one is a genuine smile.
No, that was really cool. And, I mean, you come to Vegas, you talk to the biggest entertainer in Vegas history you throw Elvis in there and the Rat Pack and all that, but Wayne Newton has stood the test of time.
Well, he's the only one still alive.
Still performing, dude, at the Flamingo. He still has his show going on at the Flamingo, and he's still getting it done.
He is getting it done. Well, you know who's going to be performing in San Antonio on 4/20, April 20th?
Oh, yeah?
Is Hunter Hayes over at the Aztec Theater.
Not you and I?
I mean, we'll be performing on 4. Is that a weekday?
I don't know.
What day of the week is that?
I don't know.
I mean, they might let us, open at 4 o'clock before the doors are
Maybe
open.
So.
We can play sound check. Good Lord. If you want to go see Hunter Hayes. After Wayne Newton, I know it's not the same, but we got Hunter Hayes tickets. He's not Wayne Newton. Dunk a shame. Caller 9 right now, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Caller number 9, those tickets are yours. You'll be able to go see Hunter Hayes at the Aztec Theater on a Saturday night on 4/20. So Joe and I will not be working on that day, but you guys can enjoy a great concert if you're caller number 9. After Sports Center, Jamal Lewis, the Baltimore Raven running back with a Super Bowl ring. He will join us next here on the Blitz, live in Las Vegas. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage continues.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the free Doug McDermott contest, protest, whatever it is, it worked. because the Spurs have freedom. They've made a trade with the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers are sending Marcus Morris, a second-round pick, and cash to the Spurs for Doug McDermott. By the way, Jeremy Sohan is going to play in the Rising Stars game. He was inserted by the commissioner as an injury replacement. Spurs in action tonight in Orlando.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back to the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix as we continue with our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage from Las Vegas, brought to you by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. And this is fun. Super Bowl champ Jamal Lewis, one of the best running backs. What's it like for you, Jamal, to come through and be on Radio Row now?
Oh, it's cool. It's cool. I like just walking around and seeing a lot of the older guys, the current guys, a lot of the reporters and stuff that I've dealt with and seen over the years and talked to, and just seeing how this industry has just changed. You know, it's growing and getting bigger and every year, and this is just a good thing to see.
You know, I've noticed that it is like a reunion, an NFL reunion, because I see guys that obviously haven't seen each other in a while. You're hugging, you're swapping stories and stuff. That's got to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is. And, you know, you don't see these guys every day. You don't see these guys every year, so Super Bowl is kind of like the convention for former the current, athletes. And Vegas is a great place for everybody to congregate, right?
You like Vegas, right?
Oh, yeah. Much better than Indianapolis.
No doubt. Ravens Super Bowl champion Jamal Lewis here. And I think about your Super Bowl team gets brought up a lot with the idea of, especially like this week, Brock Purdy, not the best guy. You didn't have the best quarterback, but you had a quarterback that led your team to a Super Bowl. When you hear stuff like that, do you agree with that, or do you think, that quarterback isn't getting enough credit for what he's doing?
Yeah, and, sometimes it don't really matter because, hey, it's you don't need to be the best team in the NFL. You just need to be the best team on the field that particular day, right? So, as long as you're clicking and your team is clicking and you got a system down and that system is working and you're able to deliver that ball and they're able to catch it and, everybody's able to do their job, like it don't really matter. And that's kind of how we won our Super Bowl. We had a great defense that played lights out. We had an offense that didn't make mistakes. And, we had an identity. We was going to run the ball. We was going to throw the ball to Shannon Sharp. And that's all we had to do. And you just had to stop it. You knew what we was going to do. You just had to stop it. And you couldn't. So I think that, I like the 49ers. I just think that they're a more well-rounded team. And I think that they're hungry. And I think Purdy is the guy, man. And he's slanging it.
When you talk about Purdy or any quarterback for that matter, obviously they get too much of the blame and too much of the credit when it comes to that. But when you guys went on the field, knowing the defense that you had, was it in your mind that a little bit of the pressure was off because you knew that those guys might make up for a little bit of that?
Well, no, with us, it was more of, hey, look, we needed to go out there and show our defense that we could get it done. But it didn't help when you got a defense that was telling you how many points you needed to give them every game. And it was like, hey, we need just give us 7 points. Just give us 10. Oh, this week, just if y'all can squeak us out 14 points, we got this. And that's what we did. And we would deliver exactly what they asked us to deliver. And, it's just one of the things where, it didn't ease up or whatever the pressure because we wanted to be great. We wanted to hold up our end of the bargain. And we knew that if we could do good, we had the game won because our defense wasn't letting anybody score, on us.
Jamal Lewis joining us here on the Blitz. Think about when you were playing, and it wasn't that long ago. Doesn't feel like it was that long ago, man. You helped me win some fantasy, but because you ran the ball, man. You over 100 yards a game and, a 2,000-yard season. Do you still think when we talk about a running back that hits 1,000 yards, is that still a milestone worth celebrating?
Yeah. Nowadays, if you can hit 1,000 yards, that is definitely a milestone. But, you know, you don't have that workhorse back anymore like that. And then you got the running back by committee and things of that nature. So if you can hit 1,000 yards a season as a running back nowadays, then, you know, obviously you're on the field, first of all. But at the same time, you just it's just a different dynamic nowadays, you know. And now they don't add up it's not just the ground yards, it's total yards now. So, you know, you see a guy come out of the game with 120 yards, it's like 50 of that was rushing and the rest was receiving. He like, damn, I didn't never have those receiving yards.
Could you have?
Yeah, of course you could have.
Oh, I can catch that thing now. Come on now. I can run a route. Big boy can run a route.
How disappointed were you with the Ravens this year?
Oh man, it was tough. It was tough because I think the expectations was there. I think that everything was kind of rolling right, you know, and where we needed it. But, you know, when you look at it from the outside looking in, it's like, you know, your best receiver is a rookie, right? First of all. And I think we did have some sprinkles there that we went in and brought in. The defense was playing pretty tough. But I just felt like we ran out of gas and we got exposed at what we really had. And it just shows that we got to go back to the drawing board and bring in some little sprinkles, you know, especially on the offensive side of the ball, that can really help Lamar and really add value to what they're doing as offense.
Super Bowl champ with the Baltimore Ravens, Jamal Lewis joining us here on the Blitz. And I think about we're Cowboys country in San Antonio, and you talk about a disappointing end of the season.
Right.
I don't know for expectations who would be more disappointed, Ravens fans or Cowboy fans, although Cowboy fans are used to that disappointment, right? But
Right.
But that Baltimore game, they completely got away from what they had done all year.
Yeah.
How does it happen when you get onto the big stage and you forget what you did to get there?
So I've been there, done that, and I'm not speaking on Harbs and what he does. He's a great coach. I just think that sometimes when you're going in to you know, to the fight, you know, a monster, which that's what the Chiefs are. I think sometimes you can just kind of get blinded by the light, you know, and I think you can over prepare, you know, and you can outthink yourself versus just doing what you do, doing what you've been doing, and letting the guys just go play. And it just, from the outside looking in, it looks like that. It looks like they just kind of just, you know, wasn't themselves and didn't follow, like you said, what they did all year long. And that showed. And you can do that, you know, as coaches, as a staff, when you're going in and you're putting together that plan, sometimes you outthink yourself and you don't need to, you know.
You know, when you with the Ravens going in as the number one seed, I think most so-called experts pick them. This is a Ravens year. They're going to win it all. When you get on the field as a player and those expectations and everybody's talking about, do you feel that? I mean, is there a little extra pressure?
Oh yeah, you do feel that. But you just got to know what your identity is and who you are, and you got to stick to that as a whole. And that's not just the team, that's the organization too. You know, you can't go into it, you know, just kind of like I said, you blinded by everything else is going on. You're blinded by Taylor Swift. You're blinded by, you know, the Kelsey Taylor Swift. You're blinded by the champs coming in here. You know, so it's kind of like all of that. You're feeding into all of that, and you don't need to, you know. So it's just one of them things where you just got to like go back to the drawing board and just regroup.
Awesome. Jamal Lewis joining us here on the Blitz. And it's think about, you know, just being mentally ready for that big stage. Interesting that you're working here with Mind Body Optimization. MindBodyYO.com is the website. Tell us about this new venture that we do know is coming to San Antonio.
So MindBodyYO.com is basically, you know, bringing mental health to the masses, right? You know, a lot of people deal with mental health. A lot of people don't talk about it, but it's okay not to be okay, right? And you know, being an athlete that has dealt with depression, that's went through my cycle of, you know, trying to find myself after football and going through different issues and things that happen. You know, your mind got to be right. You know, your body got to be right. And I think what Mind Body O is doing is bringing everything under one roof. So you have your therapist there, and you also have your psychiatrist there. So you don't have to go see a therapist, and I've done this over the last 10 years. Go see a therapist, and then 2 or 3 weeks later, you got to go see your psychiatrist. And then, it's vice versa. It's bouncing around, right? Now you can go to one spot and get all of this done, get your diagnosis, get your help, whatever you need. You can get that in one-stop shop. And also, being able to talk and let things off. Men are 4 times more likely to commit suicide than women. And that's a staggering number, right? But it's mainly because we don't talk. We don't let our emotions or let our feelings show. And I think that, being an ex-athlete and knowing what I've struggled with and dealt with, I'm okay, with letting things out and saying what I've dealt with. It don't matter, because the more I let it off, the better I feel. So, I put it on your ears, and then you could deal with it, but it's off mine, right? So, but mindbodyo.com is great. And I think they got the number there or whatever to reach out, but it's a great thing. And I wish it was around a year ago, but it's something that I will use and will continue to use just in my journey to, live a healthy life and have a good quality of life.
Awesome. Jamal Lewis, Super Bowl champ. Appreciate you stopping by, my friend.
Hey, absolutely. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Jamal Lewis here in Las Vegas as we roll through here in the 5 o'clock hour, because Jamal wrapping up. Warren Sapp is joining us next. He's standing over there and he's eyeing our pork rinds. This is going to be a lot of fun. Warren Sapp next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I want to talk to you about Stevens Roofing, because if you're having a trouble with your roof, or it's time for a new roof, or you just want to get it checked out to make sure that everything's okay, there is only one name in roofing that stands high above the rest. That's Stevens Roofing. Look, a quality roof overhead by Stevens Roofing means comfort, it means confidence, it means peace of mind, protection for all of those things that you love. And, if you're in the market for repairs, a replacement roof, an upgrade, work with the experienced team that brings local roots, value, and a vast knowledge of their craft to every job. That is Stevens Roofing. Now, they do a lot of stuff, right? Commercial stuff, residential stuff, a wide variety of materials for all of South Texas. Call Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994. Online, you can get them at stevensroofing.net. Don't be caught by surprise. Make sure your roof is ready to go and A-OK. Stevens Roofing. Call them today, 210-785-0994.
The Sports Star Boys are in Vegas for the big game.
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Robin RJ and Jason and Joe are in Sin City and Radio Row for the big game, with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Yeah, woo!
I think you gonna get away with it. Not up in here. Not up in here.
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergen X, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Over the past decade, the Roof Hub has proven to be the best place to watch games, with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roof Hub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roof Hub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roof.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
I'm a lawyer for you. I've helped you.
Yes, he has, and many others here in San Antonio. And that's why I'm so glad I get a chance to talk to you today about what happens when you get into an accident.
It's overwhelming for everybody involved. You have this paralysis of what to do next, who to talk to, how do you get medical care, or you're in the hospital and who's going to pay for this? It's this swirl of anxiety, and many times it's even worse than the injury itself. You have to help people through that situation. And I tell every client the same thing. don't worry. I've got this. I will take care of this. Just worry about your family. Just worry about getting healthy. If I can do that for you and maximize your recovery, you stay in business, you keep clients. And for 30 years, I've kept every client I've ever had. I don't lose clients. I represent their family and friends because that's how seriously I take my job.
A lawyerforus.com. You can find him at 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
What's wrong, Cupid?
Chris, I've lost my mojo. These arrows just don't work like they used to. The facts are people fall in love thanks to Connecticut, not poor old Cupid.
You don't say.
Oh, absolutely. Look over there. She's got silky smooth hair thanks to a Connecticut water softener. He's got softer skin and cleaner clothes, and now they're all lovey-dovey. Makes me sick.
Don't feel bad, Cupid. You still have your bow and arrow.
Oh, rub it in, Chris. I know a Connecticut runs on kinetic energy like my bow and arrow. There's no computer to break. A Connecticut has it all.
This is Chris Canepa with Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. There's a reason people love their Connecticut. Right now, I'll let you try one for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. Just call 656-PURE.
You know, you're right, Chris. I love my Connecticut, too. My diaper has never looked so white. And my wings, oh, I look good.
Cupid, you can always come to work for me.
You serious, Chris?
But you're going to have to wear pants.
ConnecticutSA.com.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure that you'll get your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
And Jackson Hewitt also guarantees the accuracy of your return for life. So don't just sit there. For your biggest refund guaranteed, walk into a Jackson Hewitt today and dance out Jackson Hewitt! Yeah!
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back to the Blitz here on 94.1. Welcome back to the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Ryan Egelon, Jason Minix. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage continues from Las Vegas. Brought to you by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Now joined by Hall of Famer.
Whoa. What a pork
Warren Sapp. Well, what kind you want, man?
Barbecue.
That's hot honey. Hang on.
Hot honey.
Hang on.
Hot honey.
We got some hatch chili.
Yeah,
there you go. There you go. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a party here, man. We got pork rinds. We got Stanley Cups. I mean, just dig in. Let's eat.
Keep talking. I promise
eat.
you, I can do the Condoleezza Rice. I can do two things at once.
Dude, how's your morning going?
Wonderful, brother. Any morning I get to see is a good one. I mean, because my mom told me a long time ago, tomorrow not promised to you. So get going.
There you go. I mean,
smile on your face and get going.
There you go. Now, something that doesn't make us smile often is the Dallas Cowboys in the postseason, right? That takes all smiles away. And a big reason why this year that great defense fell apart. When you watch the Cowboys defense,
hold on. Let's go back. I think we're too eager to use the word great. Because you have to have a finished product before you're great, right?
Well, so at the beginning of the year, in Oxnard, I said, and I take a lot of crap for this, man, because people keep researching.
Doomsdays too?
No, because that Doomsdays, but I thought they had a chance to be historically great. And
a chance.
That's a big word.
Could be.
A chance, but you need a finished product.
And they weren't.
In order to say great.
I was way off on that.
We're sitting here. The product is finished, and you're still talking about great.
Well,
so it might be your lying eyes.
Could be great. Yeah.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah, they
sounds
didn't do
like what's the most wasted thing in America on a day in, day out basis?
Well, that's a loaded question.
Potential.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
Coulda.
I didn't know where you were going to go with that.
Ain't that coulda?
Yeah, they could have.
Yeah, coulda.
Yeah, they could have. They
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
They failed in their potential.
Coulda,
there.
shoulda, woulda.
Yeah.
Well, you see, Warren, that's what happens. And I'm sure you know this. I mean, playing in the NFL and knowing about the Dallas Cowboys, there's always that promise, and it's always next year, right? And so
No. It's just the allure of it.
Yeah.
Jimmy created something in the 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, and then Switzer finished it off and got the championship, and now that's almost 30 years ago, fellas.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Yeah,
I know.
Wake up. The star of Dallas does not shine that bright. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won 2 Super Bowls since Dallas won his last.
Wow.
And that will be almost blasphemy to say Tampa was going to win the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Blasphemy.
Yeah.
We won 2 since Dallas won his last.
Hell, Detroit was in the NFC Championship
Like I
game.
said, hell is about to freeze over on the Cowboy fans. I love Cowboy fans.
Yeah.
I love Cowboy fans. I love everything about it. But then I hear this. Give me, and I'm gonna call him out. Luther Campbell said this. We was on the phone the other day, and he said, "Give me Cooper Rush over Dak."
Wow.
Right?
What'd you say to that?
Are you high?
I hung the phone up. he only do Bacardi Limon. That's it. That's his thing. Bacardi Limon. That's his thing. He a Bacardi man. You got any rum? He Bacardi. That's his drink. I've known him for 30 years. That's his drink. Every time I go over his house, I got some Bacardi Limon for him. I just drop it on the table. And he's happy. Oh, you know what I drank? No, that's it.
You know how it is, though. The quarterback always gets blamed.
No, not in that situation. But I will say this. He was forcing it to CeeDee Lamb, and the coverage was a make-believe. I'm with Brandon Cooks going across, and he just jumped him on the pick 6.
Yeah.
And I was just screaming at my old lady right before the play. I'm like, they're doubling him. It doesn't look like it, but they are. Because whenever he's cocking the fire, they're going to CeeDee Lamb. And he has to recognize that and use Brandon Cook. Go to Brandon Cook. Go to the tight end. Go to the back in the backfield and break their back, because I didn't see the defense do a damn thing. I watched Jordan Love go up and down the field.
Yeah.
I watched Jordan Love check plays, tell the tight end over here. It was too predictable. Dan Quinn had done ran his course, and he had no more new blitzes.
Wow.
That's what I saw in that football game. I watched a first-time starting quarterback in the National Football League in the playoffs. Jordan Love looked like he was a veteran. Come here, check, here, boom, boom. He's and the play clock's running down. Send the guy in motion, gets the ball, waits it out, and then beat Gilmore. Gilmore?
Yeah.
I was like, it's over. I was like, it's over.
So
if Gilmore is over, if they open over there on Gilmore's side, it's over today.
So should Cowboy fans be happy, Warren Sapp, that Dan Quinn is now the head coach of Washington and not the defensive coordinator in Dallas?
Yes, something new. That little Michael Parsons underneath, that got old. And then people realized we solidified his middle and make him run around the outside. He'll run by the quarterback.
Okay, but speaking of old, the names that are being thrown out, Mike Zimmer, Ron Rivera, Rex Ryan, those are the names that the Cowboys are looking at.
They're going to recycle.
Yeah.
Jerry's old. You know, old habits die hard. Like my grandma said, old habits hard to break, children. and you fall into this love of the Ryans or whatever it is. And they have the resume for it, but do they have the – you got to switch now.
Yeah.
You got to turn. You got to turn now, because the greatest thing about quarterbacks now, you're not going to show them something new. It's going to be bone on bone, man on man. You got to beat somebody. The scheme is only going to take you so far. Them X's and O's are X's and O's, but I need Willie and Joe. I need you to make it come to life.
There you go. Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion Warren Sapp joining us here on the Blitz. Now, you mentioned Luther. I want to talk about the youth for a minute, right? Cam Ward going to be your quarterback this year. How much are you keeping up with the University of Miami? Because that's
not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit.
So I can't ask you about Cam Ward.
I looked at his numbers.
Yeah. But he's San Antonio guy, so I was curious.
No.
How much you were.
I was looking at the brother quarterback. You know?
Yeah.
Brother quarterback, number 1 in your program, number 732 in my heart. I'm joking. So, and I looked at his rush average. 0.1, 0.8, 1.2. Huh? I've never seen a brother as iron in the front lawn. You mean tell me you're not gonna move, son? You mean tell me you're not gonna move? You got a rush average around what Peyton Manning has? Are you kidding me?
But he can sling it.
I know this. But when people come after you, you're going to have to move and sling it. I'm talking about that Pat Mahomes. You had a slither. I ain't seen him slither. You seen him slither?
I have.
I'm just asking.
I have.
UIW? Or
UIW.
Yeah, whatever the hell that is.
Incarnate word is in San Antonio, Texas.
I've heard of directional schools, but Southeast Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I've heard of directional schools. This was a new one over here. I'm like, what the hell is UIW?
In high school, he might have thrown 3 passes a game. He was running wishbone. Nobody recruited him. Then he got the UIW.
Shut up.
And Washington
He got a wishbone quarterback that's now an iron deer in the front lawn.
You're going to love the kid, though.
Oh, no. I have no issue with the kid at all. I'm just looking from afar because I haven't looked. I get sick of the recruiting. I get sick of the 5-star recruits, the best recruiting class, top 5, top this, and it's a 7-7 season.
So is that why you going to Colorado?
Yeah, no, I'm going to go help a friend because me and him had a vision a couple years ago when he went to Jackson State, and I said I needed to go do what I needed to do on the back end to get myself prepared for this, and now we're coming together because I realized that I had a gift to be able to share those 5 steps to the quarterback with young men, and young men really, because Google is a place where you ask questions. Warren is a place where you can get some answers. I guarantee you this. So I want to share that with the next generation because my kids are gone now. My kids have their, master's degree, got jobs. I think I've done my job as a dad. I think so. I'll take a B+. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what? I got one more to get through it. That's it. But I think I've taken care of my kids to where now I can help somebody else's kid because this game is beautiful. This game is to be loved. And if there's going to be a quarterback-driven league, then it has to be a pass-rushing-driven league. And I just don't see the skill being displayed.
Why did you choose Deion in Colorado? Just because y'all are good friends?
No, because not so much the good friends, because me and him see the game the same way. The back and the front end work together, The front rushes, the back cover, the front, it plays with each other very well. And it's a Florida boy thing too. So,
gotcha.
And I was very fortunate. My sister used to date Sammy Smith, and Sammy Smith was racing Deion in high school. I got to watch him race the whole senior year right in front of me as a 12-year-old. So I've been a Deion fan. I mean, all of us are Florida boys are. And when he asked me, I want you to come help me, and I'm like, what? Come on, man.
How are you going to say no, right?
You can't say no.
You can't say no. Warren Sapp, Hall of Famer, joining us here on the Blitz on Radio Row, talking about Edge 3. Tell us about this. This is interesting.
What we're in now is in a data and information age. And the thing that we want to do as former athletes and men that have gone through this, we want to give the kids the proper information, the parents the proper information, so they can make an informed decision about their young man the next 4 years, because it's the group in life. And as much as they talk about, I hate the transfer portal.
Yeah.
I mean, make a decision, an informed decision, and take off and go because you understand what this program is talking about and what they're doing and how they got to this valuation of you. And I think that's the thing that we can do for the parents is to help them be able to understand this information, read it, understand it, and then make an informed decision with their kid, because the last thing you want to do is make an uninformed decision in this time of age.
Good stuff. Warren Sapp, Hall of Famer. Appreciate you stopping by.
And then we got Garrett Payton and Rasheed Wallace, Kenyon Wallace, and my man Brian Jones over there at CBS, the glove, Horace Grant, guys that understand. You're looking at a guy that got $32 a weekend at the University of Miami to go play on Saturday.
Wow. Wow.
So let's condense this information and see where we can help these kids and parents make an informed decision, because it's a wild, wild west, and we need some rules with this thing, or at least somebody that's giving you the proper information, and that's what we want to do.
Warren Sapp has the answers.
No. In pass rush, this right here, I got a collaboration and a little AI help.
There you go. Warren, man.
You teach that dumb computer, he'll tell you some smart stuff.
That's it.
Yeah. There you go. Warren, man, always fun catching up, brother.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Warren Sapp, Hall of Famer. Fun stuff with Warren Sapp here on the Blitz. We've got tickets to give away to go see Creed for their show coming up in Austin at the Moody Center. Higher.
That's the song?
That's the only song Pledge plays when we talk about. See, there you go.
Nice.
Now, this has nothing to do with Warren Sapp, although Kyle Turley did just walk by a few minutes ago. if you want to be like Kyle and go see Creed and sing Higher. Be caller number 9 right now, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776, caller 9. Those tickets will be yours as we continue here from Radio Row. Steve Largent, another Hall of Famer, is going to join us here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any gear, get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro, especially if you need your logo on a jacket, a half zip, a hoodie. You need some cold weather stuff with the rodeo going on. We still have some cold days in front. Sam will get you taken care of. If you need T-shirts, green printed, Sam's got you covered. If you need uniforms, Sam has over 700 uniform lines to choose from, all kinds of industries. And if you need caps, there's no better place to go than Sam's, because Sam has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom, including the popular Richardson 112 style trucker caps. Nobody has better prices. Sammy has all the big name brands, and he's the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big, and all items do come with a warranty. Call 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or better yet, go by that massive showroom on San Pedro, a mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, we sum up what has been a phenomenal media week. We have for you a host of guests. Who do we have on the docket? RJ Ochoa,
Lee Steinberg, Kellen Winslow, Matt Ryan, Kayvon Thibodeau, Tony Khan, and maybe a surprise or two. But don't forget, we have to pick this thing. Somebody's going to get a trophy on Sunday night, and we're going to tell you who, and we're going to tell you why. We start at 6, but that's 4 for me and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Flight by Yuengling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold.
PG Yuengling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
O'Reilly. You need parts? O'Reilly Auto Parts has parts. Need them fast? We've got fast. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax.
Touchdown!
a new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax, 100% natural male enhancement formulas, only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
All right, guys, who's ready for the biggest game of the season this Sunday? Hey, it's James Pledger. Come pregame with me and San Antonio Sports Star and the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks out at the Twin Peaks Park North location starting at noon. Show up early. The first 100 fans get a free square, and every fan will walk away with a free fried pickles bounce back. This is going on at all 4 area Twin Peaks locations. So come join me this Sunday and register to win tickets to Machine Head while you're here. That's starting at noon at Twin Peaks Park North, 410 and Blanco Road.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe, live from Radio Row for Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas.
Welcome back to the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage continues. Brought to you by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, which is appropriate because we're going to talk some football and pigskins, some pigskin and pigskins right now. The great Steve Largent, Hall of Famer, and Mark Singleton from Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds joining us here on Radio Row. I know, Steve, come to Radio Rose, you've got the gold jacket, yes, which is awesome to see in person, by the way. When you put that thing on in the morning and you're walking around football stuff, you get to do whatever you want, right? That's what that gold jacket means?
I try to tell my wife that, but it doesn't work so far. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
She doesn't appreciate the gold jacket, huh?
No, she really doesn't.
I get that. I understand that. It is, the gold jacket, though, when you guys walk around here and we see the Hall of Famers, it's just you guys are like royalty. You really are. You're football royalty, and it's just an honor to see all of you.
Well, thank you. It really is an honor to be in the Hall of Fame, and there's a special bond that you have with your teammates that you played 14 years with, but there's also something special about being with Hall of Famers and just respecting what they've done, and there's just a fellowship that you have with those guys that are in the Hall with you that goes unspoken.
Steve Largent, most famous with the Seattle Seahawks, although a little time in Houston with the Houston
I had
Oilers.
A cup of coffee in Houston.
A cup of coffee,
yeah.
And Joe's a longtime Oiler fan, and how did you get out of Houston? How did the Oilers let a future Hall of Famer have a cup of coffee and bolt?
You'll have to ask Bum Phillips that question. But he was in his second year, and he needed some receivers, and so they drafted me in the 4th round. It was their second pick, but I was drafted in the 4th round. And I went down there, and I thought I was going to make the team. I was the second draft choice that they had. And so I thought, I got it made. But I didn't really I never performed in a way that said, I think I'm better than everybody else here. I didn't do that. But, I just didn't ever catch on to what they were trying to do. And Dan Pastorini was a quarterback there. He's a good quarterback. But I just didn't connect with him. And so Bum called me into his office and said, Steve, we're going to let you go, give you a chance with another team. There's 2 more preseason games. There were 6 then. And so I was let go. And after he said, we're going to let you go, all I heard was blah, 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 blah. And I was thinking, man, I'm glad I got my college degree. So I packed up the stuff that I had in my old brown Pinto station wagon and drove back from Houston to Oklahoma City, where my wife was staying with her parents. And I was going to contemplate what I was going to do with the rest of my life. And about that time, I'd gotten back to Oklahoma City. I got a call from the Seattle Seahawks. And what happened was they had hired Jerry Rome, who was my coach at Tulsa. And he was the offensive coordinator, and he was also the quarterback and receiver coach. And so Jerry was trying to get him to draft me, and they never did. And so when I came up on the waiver wire, they said, okay, we'll get him now and see what he can do. So they traded an 8th round draft choice for me. They don't have an 8 rounds now.
Round draft. Yeah, think about that for a minute for those kids listening right now.
Exactly. So anyway, I went up to Seattle, and what Jerry had done, unbeknownst to me, was he had installed our entire passing game into the Seahawks game plan. So when they said, I write 79, I knew exactly how deep to run the route, how far I needed to split, how long the quarterback was going to deliver the ball. I'd been doing it for 3 years. So that was a real boost to my football career. I'm not sure I would have made it with any other team but the Seahawks, and I did, and was able to play 14 years, and it was awesome.
And you've got a gold jacket to prove it, too. That's good. You bring up an interesting thing, Steve, when you talk about you just didn't get what the Oilers were doing. And we talk all the time about systems and how players thrive in certain systems. Is that the case? There's some systems that are just better for some players than others?
Well, there are systems that are easier for some players to learn than others, and that was the case for me in Houston. I just couldn't pick up on what they were trying to do. I just didn't get it, and it was obvious, I guess, to Bum Phillips and the rest of the coaches. So they let me go. But I think there is something to getting players that you feel like can merge with your team better than others are. And I was just one of those guys that I didn't merge very well with the Oilers.
Hall of Famer Steve Largent joining us here on the Blitz. My wife is from Seattle. And of all the people we get to talk to, every year on Radio Row, she's always, you're going to talk to Steve Largent again, aren't you? When you go back to Seattle, royal treatment all the way, right?
Well, for people who recognize me while I'm walking around the mall or
the gold jacket helps, right?
Well, and I wave it too. I wave it around my head. But no, for people who recognize me, then they're always friendly, nice, want to take a picture, and so it's a special relationship that I have with the people in Seattle.
Steve, I've got to ask you because I'm kind of an old school football guy, and when you played it. That was football. I can only imagine the numbers you would put up in today's game with the way the defense is kind of penalized.
Right. Yeah, I think so. I think that I would do well today, too, because I love throwing the ball, love catching the ball. But and that's what I was going to say. I love the game more today than when I played because they're throwing it so much more. And that's the part of the game that I love.
Interesting.
When you think about watching football today, do you watch more of what the receivers are doing or the quarterbacks?
Well, the way that they telecast games, you can only watch the quarterback. You can't see the receiver and what he's doing. Every now and then they'll play back what the receiver did or where he lined up or where he ended up, but you don't see the intricacy of routes.
When you see, we have this debate all the time, quarterback throws an interception. Is that in your mind on the quarterback or receivers not running the right route properly on a timing route? I mean, what all goes into that from your perspective? Hall of Fame wide receiver.
I would say yes to that question. Meaning
you're a politician, aren't you, sir?
Well, meaning that sometimes it's the quarterback's fault. Sometimes it's the receiver's fault. Sometimes it's a receiver you're not even throwing to. He didn't run the right route so that he could get the other receiver open. So it's different for different teams and different plays. So I don't think you can ever blame it on any one person until you've watched the film. Now, when the coach is watching the film and you're watching it with him on Mondays, he's going to point out who was wrong, and so you'll know very quickly if you were in the wrong on that particular play. But watching on TV, you can never find out who was wrong.
Steve, I've got to ask you this because and we look at just say Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. They seem to read each other's minds. Yeah. Is that a thing in the NFL? I mean, can you get on the same page as a quarterback like that?
I know I did with my quarterbacks, with Dave Craig, with Jim Zorn, especially on routes that broke down and then the quarterback had to scramble. I was always good at making myself available downfield for my quarterback who was scrambling, and that happens in the NFL as well today. When quarterbacks are scrambling, I watch receivers how they react to that, and some react well and make themselves an open target and catch the ball. Some guys aren't as good as separating from coverage, and that's what you have to have that separation from coverage, and that's what the game's all about. And unfortunately, you can't really watch that on TV because you can't see the whole route, and so but I don't know how they can fix that. I don't think they can. It's an intricate game, and I think receivers and quarterbacks just have a kind of an innate ability to read one another on those routes.
Who are your top 3 or 4 or 5 receivers that you just enjoy watching today?
Well, I have to say DK Metcalf first of all, because
that's Seattle. That's on the list by contract, and he's a beast.
I mean, the guy is so big. He's 6'3", 6'4". He weighs 235 pounds, and he really is a beast. I mean, if he's not going to catch the ball, he's going to block somebody, and he's going to knock their heads off. And I just never played that way. I wasn't big enough to do that. He is, yeah, I think he's an interesting receiver, and I think he's going to get better. That's the scary thing. But DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett is another good receiver for the Seahawks. But every team has a Tyler Lockett. Every team has a DK Metcalf. Well, maybe not DK, but everybody has somebody like him on their team because they throw the ball so much. You wonder where'd the running backs go? There's not many teams that have 2 great running backs, much less 1 running back. So the game has evolved to a much more pass-conscious game.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Were you surprised that Seattle let Pete Carroll go?
No, I was not, because I'd heard rumors about what could happen in the offseason if they weren't in the playoffs. And, Pete's coached for 14 years or something like that, and he 14 years at Seattle, and he was a great coach, still is a great coach, and they've kind of let him down easy, and I think they're paying him some amount of money. I don't know what it is, but it's a lot to stay with the team for another year, and I really like Mike McDonald. I think he's going to do a great job. I like the fact that he's 36 years old, has a lot of energy. I like the fact that he is a defensive conscious coach, and he will be. And so I think that they've made a great selection of Mike McDonald.
Hall of Famer Steve Largent. Super Bowl Sunday is coming up, also known as Pork Rind Appreciation Day. What is your go-to on Pork Rind Appreciation Day?
That's a tough question. You might need to ask my compatriot here. They've got so many now.
Well,
so.
Mark Singleton from Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and they've got some here for us. Although the Pasilla chili cheese is actually my favorite flavor. That's my favorite flavor of the pork rinds. But Mark, I mean, you guys created Pork Rind Appreciation Day. It was a no-brainer, but a brilliant idea.
You know, what goes better on the biggest pigskin holiday of the year than pigskins? Jason? I mean, oh my gosh. I will tell you, when we started coming 15 years ago, I made a wardrobe mistake at this event. I wore my camel blazer. And you will disappoint hundreds of people if you wear a camel blazer in this room.
Well, you're a Hall of Famer in our book.
It's been such a great partnership with Coach Dick and the Gridiron Greats. We've raised millions of dollars. We've helped hundreds and hundreds of players and their families who just kind of fell through the cracks. The latest CBA has provided some protection for us, but for the vast amount of time that the Gridiron Greats existed, there was actually no real safety net for these guys from a medical perspective. And Coach filled such a vital need. We saw that. We leaned into it with him. And we're so delighted to be here for our 15th year. We're so delighted with the partnership and so delighted to have such a great spokesman as Steve Largent.
Well, when you look at what you guys do and you see the results, this has got to make you extremely happy.
Football brings families together. That brings towns together. I love football. I love drill team. Y'all have heard me talk about this drill team band. All the families get together, and since we're a family-owned company, those relationships are so important. And this is a way of letting us be a part of the families in San Antonio. As you know, we've got a great partnership with HEB there, and one of the best pork rind markets in the country. So,
obviously, Mark Singleton, you've been on our show many times with different recipes, with different ideas of what to do, either having pork rinds as a snack or using them with a dip. What is your go-to then on Super Bowl Sunday, Pork Rind Appreciation Day?
Okay, so what we're going to be serving is about a bunch of oysters because it's an R month. And we're going to shuck oysters, and we're going to, on our website at porkrinds.com and southernrecipe.com, we've got recipes for this. It's our Cholula lime butter
grilled oysters with Cholula lime butter, chorizo, and then some crunched up hatch chili. Pork rinds on top. It's like an umami bomb. It's like a saltwater umami bomb.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect for sure. Mark Singleton with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Hall of Famer Steve Largent. Appreciate you stopping by here on Radio Row.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Good stuff. Steve Largent, Mark Singleton. Thank you not only for sponsoring, but bringing some pork rinds to help us get through the day. Because people don't realize we got here, about 8:30.
I would say about 8:30, yeah.
Lunch, there's been different people with some sandwiches and some wings, although I had 2 wings and Spence ate the rest. Although I told him, go ahead, because I had a sandwich and he was looking around. But you just kind of graze all day long. You don't go for lunch.
Warren Sapp liked the pork rinds.
Warren Sapp loved the pork rinds.
He gobbled those down pretty quick.
He did.
Yeah.
I've never seen somebody open a bag of chips the way Warren Sapp did. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check the video on the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page or go to sasportstar.com. I hope that part makes the video because he opened up both ends with his teeth instead of just using his hands to open it up. I mean, at first I thought he was going to eat the pork rinds in the bag. Dude, you understand, you open the bag and you eat the pork rinds out, but he just with his teeth
Dude, that's one guy I would never want to mess with. He's a nice guy, happy, but I would really hate to irritate that dude.
Well, yeah. You don't want to piss off Warren Sapp. And my daughter was his grab some headsets, Erica. My daughter, Erica, see if those are the right ones. You got to put them on the right way, kid.
I've been radio now for 2 years. You've got to put them on the right way.
I'm acting like Rob Thompson.
True words.
Not been spoken. All right, so Erica, you've been here. You're helping us, but you've also figured out how to make money on Radio Row by helping other people get from point A to point B for all these interviews. And my buddy Jimmy, who books a lot of these guests, needed help today, and
he might have stuck you with one of the more difficult people to get from point A to point B. You had to
all day with Warren Sapp.
So I was told to meet Jimmy at the Pro Football Talk. Warren showed up 30 minutes late, so he didn't do his first 2 interviews. So they got pushed back to 12:15, and so he was just off schedule.
But I think once he realized I was his team alert and I was in charge and got him, he was super nice to me.
Oh wow!
And I'd be like, "All right, it's time to go." And people try to talk to him. He's like, "Nope, you better talk to her." And
Wow.
she's saying, "No, you better go."
Just for these people, there were people who walk up. Hey Warren, do we have time for an interview? And that's Erica's the no first.
Well, I'm glad that Warren did that. But it's funny that Warren's taking orders from Erica, which Erica's,
5'0" nothing.
Well, exactly.
She gets her height from her mother.
Sweet face, right? Sweet face. I mean, nice as can be. And then you got this giant of a man saying she's in charge.
And you were working with Brian Jones from CBS. We've
known him for a long time, but
Warren afterwards, he came up
and
he didn't realize that he was
my kid. He's like, you've raised a strong young lady, and that's the highest compliment.
Nice.
So I know
That's
you did your job today.
Thank you. And I know Warren also was very thankful. We were at this table and had water. I think he legit just thought I was going under a table and
Yeah, he needed water. And Erica got water.
He said that this was the best interview he did all day, right? And he tell you that?
He did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
And so-
I'm glad you made some money today.
But we
Do
went
I get a cut?
We went to Cam Newton's thing show. It was very cool seeing Cam Newton.
Yeah? Did you ask him about Brock Purdy?
No.
Oh.
I didn't get to talk to him. But
You didn't talk to Cam Newton?
no.
You didn't get Cam Newton for our show?
Look, Warren was not even supposed to do Cam Newton. He was supposed to be done, but since he was late and had to push back, so he stayed because it was just Cam Newton. And very much when he was done, he was like, I'm done. Don't talk to me. I want a Stanley Cup. He made that very clear. After this interview, every other place we talked to, why don't I get a Stanley Cup? Where's my Stanley Cup? So Holly
Got him one?
Yep.
Good.
Nice.
So We got him a Stanley Cup.
Good
Cool
deal.
deal.
Well, we got Stanley Cups. Rob and RJ don't, but they do have matching sweaters on today.
They do.
Which
They
is
look sweet
fantastic.
today.
And more importantly,
nice.
those boys know where the car is parked.
Yes.
That is it.
And more importantly, we do.
Yeah, exactly. Because we got photos, proof of life. You know what we do every Thursday about this time?
Grilling with the Blitz, presented by Tri-County Meat Market.
We give away a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. We tell you every week, upload your photos of what's on your grill to sasportstar.com, and you could win a $50 gift card. Lots of entries, and look, it's Super Bowl Sunday, so an extra $50 at Tri-County is going to go a long way.
Big time. And we found a winner today. We judged meat, and we found a combo.
That's it. Chicken and ribs. Roger, his own dry rub on both, slow cooked at $225. Good looking grill there.
Not
2 racks
bad
of
at all.
ribs, bunch of chicken quarters.
Yeah.
You win yourself, Roger, $50 from Tri-County Meat Market. If you're grilling this weekend, make sure you take photos of what's on that grill. It's Super Sunday and upload them to the Grilling with the Blitz page at sasportstar.com.
The Blitz wants you to know what's on tap. Presented by Sam's Burger Joint.
And, of course, on Thursdays, we get you set for the weekend. What's on tap brought to you by Sam's Burger Joint online at samsburgerjoint.com, where you can get your tickets, see their full lineup and their menu. They've got live music tonight, Down for the Count. Monty Montgomery out there on Friday night. Saturday night will be Ruben V.
Nice. Now, if you want to go somewhere else tonight, you go to the Paper Tiger. Brainiac is playing out there. San Antonio Rodeo starts tonight, by the way, and Old Dominion opens things up. That's going to be a great show. Green Hall has the Joey McGee Band.
Oh, Joey?
Yeah.
The McGees?
Joey McGee.
Is it Joey McGee or Joey and the McGees?
Well, it says Joey McGee.
All right, good enough. At the rodeo tomorrow night, Midland is out there. Paper Tiger has Destin Conrad. Pat Green playing a couple of shows out at Green Hall, both sold out, but nothing's ever sold out. Acoustic at 6, full band at 10 o'clock out at Green. Mike Ryan is out at Floors. Enrique Iglesias is at the Moody Center.
Couple of good shows at the rodeo on Saturday. Wynonna Judd is there at noon. She's going to start things off.
Why do you got to say it that way?
And then Brad Paisley. I don't know. You just want to. Wynonna.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah.
Pat Green again at Green Hall. So a lot happening on Saturday night as you party before the big game on Sunday.
Yeah, don't forget, Fitzgerald's Bar has our friends Kingdom Collapse.
Oh.
They are playing Saturday night. They're at Fitzgerald, and if I have any energy left, my plan is to be there. Already bought my tickets. What's on tap? Brought to you by Sam's Burger Joint online at samsburgerjoint.com. Don't forget, tomorrow, Friday, last day of Radio Row. We've got Emmett Smith on the Blitz tomorrow. Plus, we've got Brandon Cook, Stephon Gilmore. The Morning Cuddle, that's starting at 6 a.m. They've got themselves a full lineup as well. Who do you guys have lined up for tomorrow? Matt Ryan.
Matty Ice.
Yep. Matt Ryan.
Not bad.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
There you go.
Pretty good.
Absolutely. That'll do it for us, day 4. We've got the cigar party tonight. Rob's going to struggle in the morning. RJ is going to carry him. And I just hope they remember where they parked the car.
Yes, we have picture evidence. Hey, Fred, before we go, though, I've got some great news for you because I want to talk to you about unexpected curveballs in life. You ever hit with those challenges that leave your smile in the dust? I've